Up in the morning, so the light outside. Come and grab a cup of joe. Incredible now, let's go for a ride. There's a party on the radio. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and wah, Schaefer. It's Connor and Mike. Yeah. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and Schaefer. Happer and wah, Schaefer. It's Connor and Mike.
All right, welcome in. Happy Wednesday. It is Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Warcola with you this morning. Hi, gents.
Good morning.
Good morning.
What's up? Do we like to keep the listeners in suspense when I ask you guys how you guys are doing? There's always like
we like to do
there's
that.
always like a 3.5 second pause that I'm sort of starting to enjoy.
It's like that existential sort of, do I just let people know how I'm actually doing? Do I just like give everything all at once?
No, you don't never
Or do
tell
I
them.
just say good morning?
You never tell them you're the most tired you've ever been in your life.
Yeah, no, you just
don't
say
do
good
that.
morning.
You act like you're not, and then
That
you just
pause
blow
is
right
just
through
a
it.
continual reminder of the battle between what you could say and then how you respond on the radio.
Absolutely. So maybe if one day, if the feeling really bites you, if it really gets you, you tell people how you really feel, and then we could just start you off with a rant gong.
Yeah, look, that's going to happen at some point in time. But no, actually, things are fine.
Good.
Things are good.
Yeah.
This morning,
As I told you,
Everything's
it's
good.
Wednesday. It's Wednesday morning. We're inching closer to the CWS.
it is. Where did that come from?
Added a drop.
Who said that?
That's Schaefer.
Look-
That's it.
Hit it again.
Hooray!
That is
See, that's earnest.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I believe that one.
Well, it was supposed to be.
I'm not sure if I believe that one. We had like what was up with the Flash, like random storm? Did it storm last night? I was confused because this morning I pulled out of my garage and I had stuff strewn across my.
Things were strewn for sure over in our neck of the metro. My wife was convinced a siding was ripped off of her house.
Is it really that bad?
like windy? I
didn't even
did like
notice.
a brief check this morning and noticed no chunks of siding in the lawn. So
I had a cushion that was far away from where it needed to be, and I had like a planter far
we
away
had
from where
some
it needed to.
plants that
Didn't make it.
well, no, they made it. They just got toppled over and things needed to be, reset, if you would. I didn't know it was supposed to be this bad.
It was just super windy
yeah, it
yesterday.
was really windy yesterday.
And then I don't know where the storm came from, but here we are. The College World Series is nearly here, and
2 days away.
None of us have any idea of what to expect in terms of the weather. So it'll be a Wednesday show here on this very show as we look ahead to I probably won't get to honestly much College World Series today. We'll see. There will be some outside stuff that we potentially draw upon today, but our guests, as usual, Sam McEwen, Lauren Michelson coming up at 8:30 and 9:15 respectively, and we'll squeeze in Michael Bruntz at 7:30. Hooray! In real life.
The more I hear it, the more I know I was 100% earnest with that hooray.
Really?
I couldn't have made it more earnest.
It
or
sounds
more
less
sincere.
and less earnest every time I hear it.
Play it again, Joey. Hooray! Sincerity!
Hooray!
Hooray!
You're gonna be thinking about that one for the rest of your life. Much like I ruined the word good for Josh Johnson.
Well, look,
It's in the title, though.
I can hear what other people are allegedly hearing, but I am telling you, it's sincere.
Hooray! Was that the first hooray that he dropped?
No, that was yesterday.
Because the first hooray he dropped was the most confusing one I've ever heard. I
gotta go back and find it.
He said it with like
yesterday.
dead eyes, and and I can't even remember what we were talking about. And I really truly did not know if he was.
It was a good hooray.
I couldn't tell if he was excited about it or not.
I guess I have to listen to Monday's show.
It warranted a follow-up question. That is for sure. Debo writes in, debris everywhere this morning. Didn't hear a thing last night. I'm with you. I don't know what the heck was.
I slept through everything. I went to sleep at 9:00 last night. 7 hours of sleep. How rare.
That is big time, Joey.
Yeah,
You went to bed at 9?
Yeah, I went to sleep at 9.
You missed the Stanley Cup game?
Yes, I did.
You're not interested?
Not really interested. I'm more committed to getting some sleep in, catching up on that, because the basketball game the previous day went almost 3 hours because of officiating. Hopefully it's not the same tonight.
Well, and last night we had a Stanley Cup Finals game that was, let's see, it was only like being on a roller coaster. It wasn't like being on a roller coaster like while on cocaine. It was
just a normal roller,
just a regular old roller coaster. You know, it was
to say again, another great addition to what has been a fantastic series to drop in each night that you realize that it's on, and you like, this is my experience. You turn the television on, it's the second period, and there's already 5 goals, and you're like, all right.
Yeah.
What do you have for me tonight?
Every single time, without fail, I'll turn on the TV, and it is going into the third period, or it is in the second to third period intermission, and it will be tied. Yeah. And I'll say, cool, I'm committed to this now. I'm in. And then Carolina scored last night, and then got an empty netter to finish it off. So they now have a series that is tied.
Will we have another series that is tied?
Yes, we will.
Joey is trying to will it into existence.
Because the fans in New York don't deserve a 3-1 lead. They don't deserve to be happy.
They don't deserve to be happy. They've suffered. This is just nonstop suffering.
They attack opposing fans for no reason.
Who is this?
New York Knicks fans. Have you heard of these videos?
I thought you were just mad at Stephen A. Smith for being mean. That I can understand.
No, I'm mad at that, but New York fans are notoriously bad at how they treat opposing fans.
Joey said
everyone does. I haven't seen a professional sporting event that isn't a major league game or a hockey game in the last 10 years that hasn't had a fight happen.
They're like the offspring of a Dallas Cowboys and a Philadelphia Eagles fan. They live in the past, and they attack anybody who doesn't support their beloved team.
They're not as bandwagon. Certainly, I mean these are diehards. You know, like they definitely do live in the past.
They don't show up when they're bad. They show up when they're all of a sudden good.
I don't think that's true either. I'm pretty sure they. I mean,
look at the celebrities at the games. You never seen.
Yeah, the celebrities, yes. But I'm not gauging by the celebrities.
There's definitely an element of it that when a New York team is good, there's extreme bandwagoning, which is the case of any major city, really almost any team.
Well, yeah, it's obviously more visible because they have celebrity fans, or they have celebrity quote unquote fans. These are not the correct gauges of who is a good fan and not.
There's certainly a lot of bad fans in New York.
Do those people deserve to be happy because of their sports team success? Not particularly.
Famously, I think no one deserves to be happy because of sports team successes, because my teams are never successful.
If you're not going to be happy, then nobody
gets to be happy.
Nobody gets to be happy. So we'll see if Joey's wish of nobody is happy comes through tonight.
Yes.
Nobody is happy except for him. Yeah, except for him, of course, with the game.
I think they're not going to do watch parties outside of MSG again, if I remembered right.
Why is Don coming back?
No, he's not coming back. But just after what happened after Game 3 with how New York fans were after the loss,
yeah,
they're taking safety measures at the arena.
Really? Have you heard this, or are you just guessing?
I'm hearing the rumors that they are doing the same thing. They are keeping the same security measures.
Okay. All right. Well,
not. I mean, as far as not having the watch parties take place right outside of MSG.
Have they done away with the TSA style screen?
I believe they did.
Okay, that's
but as far as watch parties, I think they're getting rid of that.
Okay. All right.
Just for safety.
We will
precautions.
See. 8:30 Eastern tonight, 7:30 Central on ABC. Game 4 of the NBA Finals: Spurs and Knicks in New York. Before it goes back to San Antonio, then back to New York, then back to San Antonio. Maybe we'll get 7 out of this after.
It does feel like we're trending towards a 7-game series.
Maybe. I'm not. I don't trending closer than we were. Obviously,
we are getting a 7-game series. I can tell you that.
Whoa,
Joey,
we are getting a 7-game series.
Yeah. What if I told you? What if I told you the Knicks just won it in 5, and that was going to be
no, not going to happen.
I would be surprised.
I would be shocked.
Okay. All right. What if I told you the Spurs won it in 6?
That would seem more likely than
very
the Knicks
likely.
in 5.
Really?
It would be hilarious.
You think it's more likely that the Spurs win the next 2 than the Knicks win the next 2 by what? By how much?
Okay.
We're going to see a blowout at some point in this series.
So Spurs, actually, we're doing Spurs win the next 3.
Yeah, Spurs
versus Knicks win the next 2.
Yeah, so basically, if I'm saying that one team is winning before the next team has a chance to win another game, finishes the series, I would take the Spurs over the Knicks.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I think the Spurs are the better team. I do think like these games have been relatively close and that the Knicks have taken advantage of some mistakes at the end, which
one in particular, yes.
Total credit to them, obviously, for doing so.
I mean, they were way better down the stretch in game 1. I mean, they flexed on them in game 1.
Once they turned it on, that was last Wednesday.
The Spurs blew game 2, and
the Spurs blew game 2.
Game 3 was sort of handled.
I feel like the Knicks threw their best punches early for the most part, and we will see the Spurs pull away here as the series goes on.
Well,
whether that happens or not, I don't know.
I was playing the simple math.
If I was betting on it, that's what I would bet.
I'm just playing the simple. Well, this is a weird bet. I'm just playing the simple math. Like, I think it's more likely that a team wins 2 in a row than 3 in a row.
Sure. Yeah,
and that's what I'm going with. But I do think we are going to get a relatively deep series. I don't know. I guess our options are only 5, 6, and 7 at this point. So
we have no more 4 options available.
Text from the 515. Good question. So is Larry the Cable Guy a celebrity? Well, yes, of course. He's a celebrity in our eyes. Have you heard that they're doing something with cars? Now, I wasn't a Cars kid. We should talk. We should talk to Matt about this. Joey was. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? They're doing a.
I know
putting Cars back in theaters.
Yeah, I heard about it.
Like the original?
Yeah, the first movie to celebrate the 20-year anniversary.
It's the 20-year anniversary.
Cool.
Are you interested, Joey? Are you gonna?
No, not really.
Movies?
No, not really. I don't go to movie theaters anymore.
Since what stopped you?
A couple of them started adopting California Pizza Kitchen as their pizza.
No. It's not California Pizza Kitchen. I just don't like being in a movie theater with a bunch of random people, and I like to watch movies at home, be in control of my viewing experience.
Joey's helping kill the movie theaters.
I love the movie theater
along with everybody else.
That's just me. That's just me, and
it's a lot of people.
I don't want to pay for overpriced snacks at the theater as well.
That's part of the charm.
Mm-hmm. Part of the charm is having
$47 to watch this bad movie.
Well, part of the charm is bringing in a bunch of Sour Patch Kids with you from the gas station, and then buying.
Was that your go-to?
My go-to
snack.
Yeah,
my go-to was the Crunch Balls.
Yeah, the Bunch of Crunch.
Yeah.
Mm. And then you buy the $8 popcorn and then the $7 giant drink, and then you can get out of there with just $15 spent, plus the movie ticket.
But yeah, I
increasingly expensive.
But the main reason is just I like to control my viewing experience.
Are you a pause during movies guy?
Yeah, sometimes.
What are you pausing for?
I have to go to the bathroom.
Scrolling on your phone.
Plan that out before the movie.
Yeah, you can do that, but I also like to do that. Sometimes movies are too loud for me. I like to control the sound.
I treat a movie the way I treat like being on an airplane.
Me too. It's like I'm trapped.
Out of that seat,
I am trapped. I can't do anything.
It is a disaster.
And I don't need anybody.
I'm going down with the plane.
I don't need people to interrupt during the movies as well.
Yeah, I get that.
No, yeah, you are depending on a lot.
I mean, have you seen when they did the screening of the Michael Jackson movie? There was people just dancing right in front of the screen at the theaters.
That has been a lot of movies over recent years.
I mean that's an example, but there's a bunch of idiots out there that likes to interrupt a person's watching experience.
Sure,
there's no doubt about that.
A lot of idiots.
No doubt about that. You're putting your faith and your trust in a lot of other people, much as you are when you go on an airplane, which is, kind of a bad deal when you think about it. It's like, all right, these are the people that I have. My life is in the hands of. It's
this is
interesting.
a society that we all look down upon. Now we have to mingle with it.
That's right. You're stuck and you're trapped. All right. So, Brunt, Sam, Lauren, that's our lineup today. You should hit us up on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone Hotline, 402-951-1620. Call our text set number. Tweet at us at HappenSchafe, at Connor Happer, at Mike J. Schaefer on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor, Mike, or Joey at 1620thezone.com on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. And we say good morning to our YouTube streamers today. Good morning to all my early morning folks. Good luck picking up those planters in your yard and things of that nature, whatever it might be from that weird thunderstorm that happened last night that none of us seem to hear. But the College World Series is here. Our friends at TD Ameritragedy or Charles Schwabergy are going to be active, I'm sure, over the next several days, and we can't wait for that to happen. We'll talk some baseball today at you, and this week in baseball. Hooray.
Hooray.
All right. This week in baseball. You know what we forgot about that happens on Wednesdays? TikTok takes.
Oh, no. One weekend.
Which is okay because I don't think I would have had a difficult time coming up with one last night.
I could have baked one.
The video component's not going to be ready probably until sometime later in the summer.
That's okay.
Because that's going to be a Nick Grimm project.
That's okay. Put it on hold. Put it on hold. But if you do feel the urge to bust out a TikTok take,
I will let you know.
You will be given the platform to have
even
that.
If we're like, say, interviewing Brunts and it starts to happen at that point, I'll cut off the interviews.
There are like 4-second TikToks.
Yeah.
You could rip one off even in the question if you want to.
A TikTok video question.
It happens. You never know.
Okay.
So if you get the urge, you can fire one of those up. We'll have more of the Brendan Sorsby fallout today. An off-season list we'd like to introduce to you. A look at what Nebraska has done in previous recruiting classes. Is Creighton the Ole Miss of basketball?
Yeah, you're gonna have to walk me through this one.
Yeah, I'm curious
It's
what
just
you're
one
trying
of
to
those
get here.
Dumb off-season graphics that I'm excited to look at. Get ready for Pat McAfee in Omaha, and Nebraska basketball adds a non-conference game in the Bean. They're going to play inside the Bean.
The Bean.
Are they trying to join the Big East?
I think so.
Nebraska, they got 3 Big East opponents on their schedule.
They only need a few more, and then they're basically playing an entire Big East schedule.
Yeah,
I would think they add DePaul in there.
Who wouldn't want to join the Big East? What a great conference!
It's such a great conference.
It's excellent.
I do like St. John's fans. Those are the only New Yorkers I like.
Wait a minute. You like St. John's fans and you don't like Knicks fans? It's the same people.
Yeah, they're the same people, but they're not as horrible as New York Knicks fans.
They are the same people. It is
I don't see videos of St. John's fans attacking Blue Jay fans.
Well, maybe you're just missing it, or maybe it.
I mean, if
wait,
that,
is it actually?
If that's a
Have
thing,
you been attacked by a St. John's fan? Call the show today.
Please call Saul Goodman, Esquire.
I mean, if they do, then I'm concerned for your safety, also John Bishop's safety when you guys call the Big East tournament over there.
Yeah,
I'm concerned for you guys.
We could get lost from time to time in the giant monstrosity of a building. Fascinating. St. John's fans, they do a lot of the things that you didn't like about Knicks fans, which is show up when it's only when it's convenient for them.
No, I just don't like fans attacking each other for just wearing different jerseys.
Yeah, I guess I haven't seen the video that you're referring to, but I wonder if that was the case. But anyway, all right, off and running here on a Wednesday. We will take a break and be back after this on 1620 The Zone.
A few showers possible early Wednesday. Otherwise, expect a hot and humid day with skies becoming mostly sunny. Highs in the low to mid 90s with feels like temperatures between 95 and 100. Any scattered stronger storms in the afternoon will mainly be south and east of the metro, though a better chance for strong to severe storms late Wednesday night into Thursday morning. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
This time-saving traffic is brought to you by Broncos.
Broncos would like to introduce you to the big SOB, the sauteed onion burger. Triple all beef patties, triple cheese, sauteed onions, double bacon, mustard, pickle on a fresh baked and toasted bun. Thank you, Broncos. Broncos, where quality rides.
So you need a plumber, do you? You should call the most referred plumber in town. Backlund Plumbing.
Backlund Plumbing, the most referred plumber in town.
Zoom Drain's highly trained team of experts and our fleet of well-equipped service trucks are dedicated to providing solutions for homeowners, plumbing contractors, mechanical contractors, and business owners across many industries. Contact Zoom Drain anytime by logging on to zoomdrain.com.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
I saw a good little roundup yesterday on D1Baseball.com how the Did you see this? Did you hear about this? I wonder if Dana Holgerson saw this or heard about this?
I haven't seen that.
Okay.
Dana's got to pay more attention.
How the 8 College World Series teams were built, right? So,
a
lot of different ways to skin a cat here, and there are a lot of different circumstances for each individual program, right? Like, what can they do? Keep in mind, college baseball is still working on a vastly uneven playing field. And honestly, for a lot of it, we don't know what a lot of the teams are working with. There's a conversation point that we had with Brunson a couple weeks ago about where Nebraska's at in terms of scholarships. I genuinely don't know where Creighton sits in terms of scholarships and how much funding, but there are programs out there. There's few, but there are programs out there who fund the entire thing, which you're allowed to have 35 now. Like I believe it used to be 11.7 and now it's 35.
Yeah.
Which is nuts, right? That's a big time increase. So if you want to be really, really good at baseball, you have the opportunity to. And then there's NIL opportunities that players can earn on top of that, and there's rev share stuff as well. So if you really want to go all in baseball, you can. So there's that piece of it, and then there's where you get your players from. So a couple of them have pretty fascinating trends. Oklahoma has 13. Kansas would have been the winner in this category, by the way, but Oklahoma has 13 junior college players on their roster as they go into the College World Series. So
makes sense.
13 guys from junior colleges and 14 were original recruits, and 10 of them are D1 transfers. So just like, completely
some from this bucket, from this bucket, some from this bucket.
Completely flat all across the board. I thought the fascinating one, we think about Georgia. That's a power program, even though they haven't been to Omaha since 2008. Like, it's a power program. They now have a head coach with some bona fides in Wes Johnson, and they've been to super regionals 3 years in a row now. So what they did this offseason, well, they have been rebuilding their lineup in the transfer portal for the last few years now. It's really built up to this year. They took a bunch of guys to supplement in the offseason, but for the most part, a lot of their main guys like Daniel Jackson, who is going to be the national player of the year, has been on their roster for a year, but are Division I transfers. And then in the offseason, they completely reshaped their pitching staff. They completely just redid their pitching staff, all basically from D1 transfers. So the story on D1baseball.com says this: it's no secret that Wes Johnson sees the portal as an avenue to success, and continued investment in it has produced the program's first College World Series since 2008. Georgia won the SEC regular season and tournament. Just one hitter that logged 15-plus plate appearances this postseason, Trey Phelps, started their career at Georgia. Think about that. Just one hitter that logged 15-plus plate appearances this postseason started their career at Georgia. And 0 arms that threw at least 3 innings started their career at Georgia.
That's 5 games because they haven't lost yet. They're 5-0. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely incredible.
So we're talking about regular everyday players.
Some of those games, that's just nuts.
It is quite the way to build a roster.
You have to be really good at identifying, or you just have to be a place that people want to go to.
So
a combination.
So Georgia has 4% of their NCAA tournament innings pitched, 5 games, 4% of their innings pitched, which I don't even know what that equals out to. Just a couple, maybe one, were pitched by an original Georgia Bulldog. 4%.
An OG UGA.
Compare that to North Carolina, 100%.
Right.
100. So how they do it is basically completely the opposite. They went and
get them in, develop them all in house.
But pitchers, they do that with pitchers. Like, get them in and develop them, and they feel really good about that. Now, they had some significant turnover over the last couple of years in terms of their lineup, as everyone would, but they had some really, truly great players, Vance Honeycutt and all those guys when they were here 2 years ago. They had to turn over a lot of their lineup. So only 27% of their NCAA tournament plate appearances this year for North Carolina have come from a guy who was originally a North Carolina Tar Heel. So 27% of their plate appearances and 100% of their innings on the mound. They completely rebuilt it from a lot of lower level guys too. Yeah. A lot of, and that same thing holds with Georgia. Lower level, I guess, is probably strong, but we're talking about non-power, but still good baseball conference.
Sure.
I mean, obviously, one of the exceptions would be one of the best players in this tournament, which will be North Carolina's shortstop Jake Schaefer, who played at North Dakota State last year and is going to be probably a top, 50-ish type of pick in the draft this year. But there are some outliers, but he had a lot of production underneath his belt at North Dakota State. It's just fascinating, and there's a lot of different ways to do it. West Virginia got a lot of guys from Division II.
Yeah, I was going to say that's what some schools do is they just raid the top of D2 teams and then just kind of reload.
It's very interesting, because you just like how you build a roster in baseball would not at all be, you wouldn't use any of the blueprints. I don't think that these teams are using in this sport for other sports.
I don't
think
so.
Like when I think about it this way, there is an increasing amount of college baseball fans, and there is an increasing amount of college baseball fans even in the local programs around here. If Nebraska went out and they got a crop of just a bunch of D2 guys,
it's a bunch of UNK baseball players,
but
they don't UNK
successful,
baseball,
super successful. Yeah. Like they hit and they won and all those different things, but they played at the Division II level. What do you think the reaction to that would be from maybe a newer Nebraska baseball fan or something like that? Somebody who is probably used to watching, rooting for the Big Red in football and in basketball.
It sort of depends on how in tune they are with baseball recruiting,
exactly.
Which
that's sort of what I'm getting
in a niche thing. It's super niche. My guess is they'd be like, what the hell is going on?
100%.
Are you trying to build an entire team of jet pucks?
And admittedly, it is sort of a gamble because you don't exactly know what you're going to get.
Right.
Because they've had a lot of them we're talking about frontline starting pitching for West Virginia. We're talking about, important bats in their order that have just completely hit. Like,
oh yeah, no,
100%.
One of their big wins is a transfer from Georgia State who just showed up and started hitting home runs and never stopped hitting home runs.
Mm-hmm.
Smith, I believe. Sean Smith. That sound right?
Yeah, I don't have the name in front of me.
He hit the big 3-run homer to kick things off in game 1 against Cal Poly, and they never looked back at that point.
Right. So, a lot of different ways to do it. It's a fascinating story, and certainly, if you care at all about any of this stuff, or if you're
it's such a, it totally makes sense that North Carolina, which has been a bit of a factory of pitching forever, would just continue to do it with the guys that they bring in and build over time. Whereas it would kind of make sense that, hitting wise, you go out and you get people out of the portal. If you're Nebraska baseball, you probably have to put as much emphasis on getting some pitching out of the portal this cycle as you do just adding back to your hitting.
I think, a lot of it matters. Not only, like I said, you have to go back then, depending on the program that you are, where your sort of connections are, and then specifically what you do well as a staff as well. Do you identify well? Do you develop well? Do you have a big pitching lab that you roll guys through? And so you have to know what your strengths are, and then what kind of players go into that. Do you get a bunch of dudes who have gone out and just produced at the D2 level and won a bunch of games and just stick them in your lineup and say, we'll figure it out from there? Or do you get like a bunch of raw talent And then you kind of hone it in and you develop it and you get them some more ABs and you get them some more innings, and all of a sudden they're peaking at the right time in April and May. Like there's just, that's only two of the ways.
Right.
Right. Like,
and then it's normally like you have to figure out how to blend all of this together, because chances are if you're in Nebraska, you kind of have to have the Oklahoma approach where you're a little bit of everything.
Yep.
There's nothing you do that's so good that you rely on that solely alone.
I agree. And that's why Oklahoma is one of the fascinating ones, given their recent success.
But where their location is, it makes sense. Like you have all those Texas junior colleges, you have junior colleges in Oklahoma, you have junior colleges in Kansas.
But their dudes are, their freshman arms are legit. Yeah. Like Mike Monaco was tweeting out some stuff yesterday. Oklahoma is the highest velo staff in the College World Series, which they don't have the most developed arms in the College World Series.
They just go get raw.
They don't have the best arms in the College World Series.
They just go get raw guys.
Like, you remember Cade Horton from a couple of years ago?
Yeah. I mean, Cade Horton comes to mind. I mean, obviously you have the Witherspoon.
Cade Horton was barely pitching at the time. And he came in and he was
bigger known for football than he was for baseball.
He was
had a massive arm.
Absolutely lights out in the College World Series and got him to the finals, And so
and then would be pitching for the Cubs right now if it wasn't for an arm.
And then the other thing that we forget about in all of this stuff is that it is a tournament and you need a giant element of and a stroke of good luck to get you where you're going as well. All of these things have to come together for you. And then you get used as an example at the end, which is sort of a backwards.
And then we try to draw conclusive data points off of it.
Yep.
And usually it's a fool's errand.
100%.
Because again, it can always come back to the phrase, it's baseball.
See, I think that's an easier thing to do in football, right? Like there are so many lessons from what Indiana and Miami did, I think, this year, right? Not all of them you can replicate, but there are definitely big picture takeaways from that. For baseball, there's definitely, there's some things like, oh, we can extract that out of there, but it's baseball.
Well, it's just such a grind of a sport, like to be able to maintain consistency across 5 months. Guys have dips. Guys aren't going to play as well at certain times. Sometimes it happens in May. Sometimes it's in March. Sometimes, unfortunately, it's in June.
Yeah.
It's just the cruel nature of the sport.
Matthew on YouTube writes in, he says, have you talked about a couple Iowa Western guys playing in the College World Series? One for Troy, the other one's at Texas. Yeah, we haven't talked about it yet, but Tommy Egan at Troy is up here in Omaha with the Trojans. I guess everybody should be arriving today. And then Cal Higgins at Texas. There was a couple Omaha high school graduates who have made it, including Alabama, one of Alabama's best guys, and Tyler Fay, who's from Grand Island. And so there's always that piece. There's not probably as big of a story from a local guy perspective as there was with Cam Kojal last year. Maybe that's just because he was from Omaha. But yes, we always love it when the local guys show up in the College World Series. There's been many, many Reavers in the College World Series. I saw they put out yesterday. So now they've had 5 guys over the last 2 series, 5 former Iowa Western baseball players in the last 2 College World Series. We will take a quick timeout. Speaking of baseball, let's go to the Major League level, take a look at this week in baseball, and we'll cross the bridge by a thing that happened last night in Major League Baseball, where a story from a College World Series gone by made a sparkling Major League debut last night. We're back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right. Welcome back. Happer and Schaefer, you're on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Speaking of baseball, how about this? If you're enjoying all the baseball talk, how about a baseball game? 4 tickets to the Royals and Tigers on August 23rd, and you'll sit inside the Blue Moon Tap Room. You get a free parking pass. And with 1620 The Road Trip, we'll tack on 4 passes to Adventureland, $150 to Early Bird, a 10 Wallies for a year, and a $100 Hy-Vee gift card. Can you believe all that?
Whoa!
1620thezone.com to win 1620.
Think of all the ice cream you could get.
So there's going to be a couple trips in
Cookies
there.
and cream even.
A couple road trips. So you're going to need all the Ted and Wallies and Hy-Vee gift cards and Early Bird breakfast stops that you can get. So enter now. 1620thezone.com. To baseball we go. It's time for This Week in Baseball. What a sound. All right, you can turn it down. We were looking at just the standings at this juncture of the season and some World Series odds that come along with it. The Los Angeles Dodgers, to nobody's surprise, are the leading odds getter to win the World Series at plus 200, which is like astronomically low for here on this Wednesday, June 10th. The Yankees, who will be sans Aaron Judge for potentially another 6 weeks to 2 months.
Yeah, nobody knows.
We'll see. Plus 550. Then a mishmash of Mariners, Braves, Brewers, Phillies, Rays. Nobody believes in them. Toronto and Chicago until you get to the 25-1 and beyond teams. Anybody stick out to you, Schaefer?
Yeah, I mean, the Braves have played the best baseball out of anybody at this point, so you're getting a little value there at plus 900. They seem like a team that in the series against the Dodgers could actually go toe-to-toe. Maybe Spencer Schwellenbach coming back in the second half of the year. It's like trading for a pitcher.
It is. That's what they say.
We'll see. The Braves.
Acuna went out last night.
Yeah, I did see that.
Acuna's just cannot stay away from the injuries.
I almost wrote this down as a topic, but then I was like, do we want to invest that much time? So I guess sort of quickly, are we at all concerned that Ronald Acuna is just never going
We
to
are.
We are. It feels like we've gotten this like inverse of Byron Buxton where you get one really, really good season right away in his career, and then now he's just going to be injury plagued, where Buxton was just injury plagued to start with, and then had one really amazing season when he was like 29.
A reverse Byron Buxton.
Yeah. And so it kind of feels like they're going to be the same player. Buxton, not nearly as good as the apex of Ronald
Yeah,
Acuna.
the top was better for Acuna, probably.
But the idea being like an incredible athlete that can't stay healthy, that is an unbelievable baseball hitter when they're available.
We may be talking about a was at this point. I don't know. We'll see what this injury is. They said it was a hamstring. I'm not sure.
They're always like that's all going to add up. He's not going to age well. He's only 26 at this point.
Yeah, he's not old. That's for sure.
It feels like he's been around forever, but half of that time seems like it's been on the IL.
So we are concerned. This show does have
28.
This show does have concern about Ronald Acuna. That much is for sure. Last night in Major League Baseball. So as I mentioned, there was a guy who was a story in the College World Series from a couple of years ago. Do you remember the name Braden Montgomery?
I do.
Braden Montgomery, who was Texas A&M's best guy a couple of years ago with the last year of Jim Schlossnagle, coincidentally at Texas A&M when they were here. I think it was 24. And he broke his ankle, I believe, in the Super. And then he was heart of the team type of guy in the dugout, rolling around on a scooter, talking to everybody during the College World Series, and A&M made a pretty good run. Well, last night, he made his Major League debut as a member of the Chicago White Sox, and here's how that game ended.
For his most crucial at-bat of his first game this year.
I am a bit concerned about the White Sox good mojo right now, to be dead honest with you. They are kind of really fun.
Yeah, no. Well,
they're 35 and 31.
They got a bunch of dudes who launch bombs.
Yeah, they had a bunch of young guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
so they have no reason to be afraid of the moment or not understand that they shouldn't be doing this or anything like that.
Yeah, I'm fascinated. I'm interested.
They're getting just enough out of what's really actually a terrible pitching staff.
The terrible.
But every day,
They're
whether
terrible.
it's Davis Martin having a sort of insane start to the season or Noah Schultz or whoever, they just get just enough out of these guys. And they try to win every game 9-8.
List of players who hit walk-off home runs in their MLB debuts.
Okay.
In MLB history. This is from Sarah Lang's last night after Braden Montgomery joined the list. He became the 5th. The last happened in 2015 on Cinco de Mayo. Carlos Perez.
Okay.
I don't remember that one.
For the Rays?
I'm not sure. June 20th, 2003, Miguel Cabrera did it. He is by far the most accomplished player on this list. Here's a good name for you, blast from the past. August 23rd, 2002, Josh Bard did it. Remember Josh Bard?
I do remember Josh Bard.
And then you go way back to September 9th, 1971, Billy Parker did it. So just 5 guys ever in Major League history have hit a walk-off home run in their MLB debut.
Carlos Perez, a catcher for the Angels. I was thinking Carlos Pena, I think is the name that.
Yeah, Carlos Pena definitely
was the Rays, yeah.
Yeah. But yes, well, and his debut would have been a lot earlier than 2015.
Yeah, no, just one of those where baseball just seems like, oh yeah, Carlos Pena. That was 2003. Oh, okay.
2003 wasn't 5 years ago? That's
Are we
really
sure?
Weird. And 2015 also wasn't 5 years ago. That is also very, very odd. So there you go. That is this week in baseball. Also, was that Bob Costas on the call last night for that White Sox game? They were doing like an 80s deal on what, I don't know if that was an NBC game or whatever last night, but they were doing like a throwback. Was that Costas that I heard? I think it was. It sounded a lot like this.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
Yep. Not Giancarlo's fault.
Bob Costas on the call.
He must have been absolutely confused why he was on the south side of Chicago. He must have been like, why is this not the Bronx?
I wonder if he spent half of it talking about Spencer Jones' home run instead of just the game that was going on in front of him.
He probably was.
Or just, waxing poetically about being a young child listening to a day World Series game in school while there's a game happening in front of him.
He does talk about it. And if you want more information on that, you can watch Ken Burns Baseball, where I did a long, extensive interview.
Because everything's about me.
Exactly.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
It's not Giancarlo's fault. I thought we were getting rid of Bob Costas.
Yeah,
I thought he was going away.
Nobody actually retires. They retire and then they still hang around forever.
They get different jobs because there's no shortage of companies now that are just starting up, and they're like, what if we had Bob Costas start our little startup deal here?
I love the idea of a startup company that's actually just like, we're going to do throwback broadcasting games for baseball. And who's dumb enough to buy this package? And it's the White Sox.
And that throwback company is NBC, who has the strength, I think, in numbers to be able to do that.
Maybe.
Anyway,
Peacock's fledgling a little bit.
Yeah, it's
they should have never ran Nick Stauskas out there. That really hurt the integrity of Peacock.
The integrity, the numbers, a little bit of everything.
The Stauskas boycott has reached its apex.
It has. And now it's resulted in Bob Costas doing White Sox
Thanks,
games.
Nick.
Yeah, way to go, Nick Stauskas. All right, we're back with the 7 o'clock hour. Plenty still to come. We will probably mention Nebraska. I'll say this. We will talk about Nebraska basketball at some point during this show.
Whoa.
At some point during the remainder of the show. I do promise. And Michael Bruns will join us at the bottom of the hour. More to come on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. Just a little shy of 7 o'clock here on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Only 2 more days of regular shows. Well, 1.5, I suppose, days of regular shows until we become unregular for 1 week. And hopefully it's just the 1 week, and we don't bleed into any further situations. Now, there will be a John Bishop will be gone all the way through next week doing the College World Series, and then potentially into the Monday of the next week after that. But that doesn't involve us.
Yeah.
So here we go.
That's not our problem.
It's time, folks. Nearly time for the College World Series. Are you excited to see Pat McAfee?
Excited? Hooray!
That's what I would say.
That's probably in the hooray category.
Hooray. He's doing his show, I guess, from the
sarcastic
Blacks.
hooray, not the very earnest hooray that one was.
That definitely.
So apparently Brian Windhorst is going to be in town this Friday as well, because he was on the Pat McAfee show and he was giving him recommendations what to order when he was doing the show at the Blatt.
Well,
so
I doubt he's coming back during the finals, but he does live here.
Yeah, I know that.
Right.
I know that.
Right. So I don't know. I doubt he'll be there, but I don't know. Maybe he'll show up.
That'd be great. What if we should talk to Max on Thursday to see if he gets an invite to go on McAfee as one of the ranking ESPN employees of Nebraska? It's Windhorst and it's Max, right?
He probably would there's almost, what would you put the percentage chance that Matt Rule shows up?
Like 100%?
Yeah, I was gonna say like 92, but
116%.
116, 100. And I was gonna say 92.
I wasn't gonna go over 100, but I think Joer's closer than I am.
90. I was gonna go 92%. The only thing that gives me 8% pause is that number one, I guess there's kind of a lot going on right now.
Sure,
but that almost sort of helps the cause a little bit if you're like at the facility and you're like, oh, there. Matt Rule literally just left 10 minutes ago, took the helicopter up to Omaha, and then went on Pat McAfee's show. That's pretty cool. And the other thing is they've been consciously quieter this summer, but I don't know. I feel like that's about to end too.
I would think, and maybe I am just completely an idiot here, I would think that it would be regarded as a good thing that if Pat McAfee shows up and he's doing a show from 45 minutes away from Lincoln, that Matt Rule would be visibly on that show, particularly during a time where recruiting is really big and visibility and everything matters. And,
he could get more money for his LLC.
Yeah, maybe McAfee can donate to the NIL operation at Nebraska.
Whoa. Do you
Pat McAfee sponsored NIL player at Nebraska?
Maybe they'll take over Mike Fahey Street and put a field goal post out there and have some rando kick a $100,000 field goal.
I'm now imagining a world where McAfee just selects like 11 people and calls them the McAfee men, and they're sponsored throughout college football. This seems like something that could happen.
It'd be a great idea, to be honest with you.
I'll pass it along to his people when I see him.
Well, we might have the proximity to do so. All right, here's a list. Folks, we love lists from
we really do.
ESPN. College football future power rankings through 2027. What is that supposed to mean? College football future power rankings through 2027. Well, here's what it means. Future only goes through next year now. There is no future beyond next year, which honestly I think makes a lot of sense. There's just no way to project what rosters are going to look like anything beyond 1 year out.
Right.
At this point. And, so many different things could happen. It is a pointless and useless exercise to be projecting anything beyond 2027 at this point. Honestly, it's halfway pointless and useless to do it beyond 2026, but we do have a list, and we thank Adam Rittenberg for that. So he ranks every Power 5 football program 1 through 68 on the list. Joey, where do you think Nebraska, give me a number, where do you think Nebraska ended up on this list?
Between 1
through 68 power rankings for future. So we're talking about this year and next year.
I'm going to say in the second half of the ranking, so probably I would say 42.
What a guess by Joey. How about 43?
You gave them too much credit, Joey.
43. Oof. They fall from last year's future power ranking, which their ranking was at 36 a year ago. Here's what it says, and then we'll get into some things afterwards. QB situation. Dylan Raioula's highly anticipated Nebraska tenure ended only after 2 years. The Huskers lost Kenny Minchie, but quickly pivoted to Tony, who won Mountain West Offensive Player of the Year at UNLV last fall. Nebraska has options with TJ Lateef, who started games in 2025, and Daniel Kalen, who's back in Lincoln after being at Virginia for a year. Offensive line / defensive line outlook. This is very important. After mixed results in 2025, Nebraska's offensive line has a different look, which includes Mr. Jeep, Mr. Gideon Pillow taking over as the offensive line coach. The team took big portal swings and landed Churi Babalade, Brendan Black, Paul Mabenga, with both Babalade and Mabenga holding junior eligibility. Evans and Pritchett are back for their final seasons. Gunnar Gatula's starting experience. And then on the defensive line, it says they will need more from Williams Winery, Cam Lenhart, UCLA transfer, and many other schools transfer. Anthony Jones and others. The Huskers are hoping to return interior players that could step up, including Riley Van Poppel and transfers, Jasir Whittington and Owen Stoudemire, who that was one I forgot about over the last couple of days when we were talking about some guys. Roster management, star power. The star power conversation is interesting, so I'll read that one too. Calandria made his mark in his lone season with UNLV, completing nearly 66% of his passes for 3,459 yards and 23 touchdowns. He'll be throwing to promising tight end Luke Lindenmeyer, and honorable mention all Big Ten selection with 29 catches last year. Cornerback Andrew Marshall will help anchor the secondary after a solid first season in the Big Ten, and then add Owen Chambliss on defense, a first-team All-Mountain West selection last fall, which is funny because that was the conversation we were having yesterday with the pick 3 impact guys, right, yeah. And all 3 of those guys, but I guess with the exception of Lindenmeyer. Did Lindenmeyer come up yesterday in our conversation?
I don't think so.
Which I wouldn't, for the record, I put him as an impact player, but that's just me.
I think he's a really solid tight end that you can use in line and split him out, and I think they can get him more than 29 catches. But yeah, I wouldn't think of him necessarily as like one of the impact guys. So I do think he's a useful player for their offense. Yeah, the star power thing just sort of stands out. Like there's just not and that doesn't have to be a bad thing either. Like this is sort of the idea that, Nebraska can develop some guys can emerge from this offense, that you're not beholden to just trying to get one player a bunch of touches or, create a system or an offense specifically geared around one thing. Sort of allows for people to emerge. So we'll see if anybody does.
Yeah, in theory.
In theory,
it's got to produce. And so I think the big picture takeaway is this. All that is to say, here's where they are, 43rd on the future power rankings list. And we've talked about this similar idea before. And it's funny because Mitch and I talked about it on our podcast, which came out 8 minutes ago.
Wow.
You go into the summer and you go into the fall, and it is getting harder and harder, and I would argue just about impossible to find people who are standing on the table for Matt Rule and who can come up with and present an impassioned case that this is either A, working, or B, going to work.
Yeah.
Right? And that doesn't have to be the end-all, be-all, right? But that has happened over the last 3 summers. Each of the last 3 summers, that has been a talking point the entire time. There's been the national media folks who will say, look, you have no idea what you got here. It's like Matt Rule will fix this thing. I have no doubt in my mind. And then year 2, it was Matt Rule is year two Matt Rule. It always pops and they always get better by X amount of wins. And then year 3 Matt Rule, it always really pops and they get to like double digits, or they get to 8 or 9, or that's the really big step that Nebraska has in for them this year. And that did not happen in year 3. And now the well has dried up. It's gone. And so there's no real conversation about it at this point. And there's a lot of reasons why, which are some of the things I want to talk about here.
Yeah. And in addition to there's not that conversation, you also just don't have a center point the way that you did, or a centerpiece, I guess, if you want to go with that, in Dylan Raiola. That was also part of that conversation too, because it's okay, this true freshman starting, the son of a former Nebraska player. Like there's always that was wrapped into, especially before 24. And then 25 is, okay, are we going to see this from Nebraska? Is this the big jumping off point? You don't have any of that now, mostly because you don't have a lot of bankable, like, okay, they have this is returning. This is what Nebraska is absolutely going to be relying on in the upcoming season. So you don't even really have that. So when people kind of look at discussing Nebraska or writing about Nebraska, you pretty much always have to mention the different coaching changes that were made in the offseason, the offensive line, and then, of course, Calandria, because that's, in theory, your new centerpiece.
Do people, like, from a national perspective, if you don't know the granular details, and maybe not even if you're covering the Big Ten, if you're just looking at it from a national perspective, are you thinking about Nebraska's players when, are you thinking about any team's specific players? Because when I look at programs and their trajectories and where I think they're headed, I think about the things that they do. And the things that they do are like how they play football,
sure,
how they recruit and develop talent. Recruiting is a big part of it, by the way. I think that goes into my just where individual programs are at in my brain, which they've been having a good summer, I think, as far as that is concerned. So that could help with the momentum a little bit. So that's sort of what I think of when I look at programs when I think about programs who I don't often think about.
Sure.
Like, where's the arrow pointed? And it's sort of this kind of blob a little bit, but it doesn't involve like individual players.
I think for me, it's probably a little bit different. It often involves, usually the upwardly mobile teams normally have a quarterback or someone that's attached to with that. So
yes,
whether it's
that helps.
Trying to think of a good example here, and I had one I blanked it. So when Indiana, obviously Indiana, if you wanted to do Curtis Rourke that first year before it became more of a Signetti thing, it was like, oh, what is he doing with this guy from Ohio that had a pretty nice career and then gets to Indiana, really good.
Mm-hmm.
No, the one I meant to mention was Luke Altmaier of Illinois. Like when Illinois started turning in the direction they were, and then they were like sort of hey, you got to keep an eye on what's happening at Illinois. This Luke Altmaier kid looks really good. Like that was a part of it for me. Other teams, outside of the Big Ten bubble, like when Wake Forest was having their run with Dave Clawson and that mesh offense, it was the Hartman guy.
Sam Hartman.
Who then ultimately ended up at Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I guess part of it is because I'm just drawn into the position and I fall prey to whatever that sort of narrative is. I end up thinking about it.
I think that's important.
But it's usually because they're attached to an offensive system that's exploding.
That's it.
Or in the case of Altmaier, like Illinois generally hasn't, like Illinois and Rutgers usually have some of the just least nondescript quarterbacks in the Big Ten all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so for Altmaier to kind of be like, oh, they have someone that
he kind of stands out a little bit. Yeah.
It's like, oh, he's an Ole Miss transfer. All right. There might be something to that.
Yeah. I'm interested.
So, like, I think that's why he probably transcended more without the system.
I agree. I don't think we're far off. Like those are things that I'll certainly take into account as well when I think about it. And that in essence creates what your national kind of perception is. And I think people look at Nebraska right now and they say, well, I don't really know. I can't get on the table for Matt Rule anymore. I can't yell and scream about how I know it's going to work with Matt Rule because I don't know where they're going. I don't know
or
what
how they're
going
to get there.
And I don't know, like it. And we're not talking about success. We're not talking about how many wins and losses they're going to have. We're talking about, because I truly think that Nebraska is just one of the programs in the country, among the many in the Midwest that sort of look like it and act like it, although each one has its own unique and different qualities. I think Nebraska has to have a thing. I don't think Nebraska can be one of these programs that just goes out and tries to recruit and get people on huge NIL deals and then figure out what your identity is going to be after you get a bunch of incredible talent in. I think there's only a select handful of teams in the country that should even try to do that, and Nebraska is not one of them. Right. I think they have to have a thing, and I think they have to get really, really, really good at that thing. And the concerning part for me is that we're going into the 4th year of Matt Rule, and I don't really know what the thing is. I thought I knew what the thing was. I thought they were doing the thing, and then they kind of stopped doing the thing, and I was confused by that. And
the thing being a defensive-oriented football team that plays mostly power football.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what are they doing this year? What like are they doing?
That's where we find out if it transitions back to what they were pre-Dylan Raiola or if they have some other jumping off point.
And then that's just the start. Like you have to get good at it, and then you have to perfect it, and then you have to have the wins, and then like it's a long way back here, I think, for Rule.
Can be.
Not that it's impossible. But we all every offseason we end up talking about the spark or the pop or the jump or whatever it is, and it's just like I just don't think it's going to happen that way. It has they gotta take this thing one step at a time, and that's where people I think get a little burned out. And they're like, oh boy, we're a long way away from that.
Especially in a world where you saw a team like have a literal spark or whatever you want to call it with Indiana. And then I mentioned Illinois, like that's a program that Nebraska fans would have loved to have traded places with the last 3 years and are wondering why they can do that. And Nebraska hasn't had that level of success.
Nebraska certainly can. Very capable.
Yeah, no, there's nothing that precludes them from doing it. They have to physically go and do it, which, results in being probably better in terms of coaching and other things. I am fascinated because this team setup is more closely aligned with what things were like in 23, where you bring in a different coordinator that has a system. You look to utilize pieces that maybe were undervalued or didn't come through for you in the way that you were hoping going into 23. And that starts with Rob Orich and that defense. I mean, if this is going to work for Matt Rule, Rob Orich has to be a successful hire. That defense, it doesn't have to be like San Diego State level good immediately. But you need to be able to see at some point during the 26 season.
I don't see why they can't be good right away.
Well, I mean, that was like a top 15 unit in the country, and part of it was you played in the Mountain West. Like, I think that's harder to do in the Big Ten.
What about compared to?
I think they could be like 2023 level good, which was like a top 30?
That was really good.
Yeah,
that's a good defense.
24, maybe even if you took it the step back from that.
Yeah, that was a little worse. Yeah.
So, like, I definitely think that they can be better. I don't want to fall into the trap of this is going to immediately flip like he did at Idaho and at San Diego State. It's just the Big Ten's just a different behemoth with that. I
just think they fell so far under what they should have been last year that there is an immediate case for that defense to get a lot better. But is it going to be something that they hang their hat on this year? I don't know. I'm not sure.
If you immediately get better performances from guys that the expectation is they're a lot better than how they have either played or have been in their careers so far in Williams Nwaneri, Riley Van Poppel, you get more out of a Cam Lenhart, you get right away out of a Jashir Whittington or someone like that. There's no reason the defense can't make a big jump just because the defensive line is now playing average football instead of below average football.
Exactly.
And then that will affect everything that comes behind it. So, there's definitely a world where they can have a huge jump off of last year's disaster finish. What that ultimately looks like after 12 games, remains to be seen. But it's a big bet on that. It's a big bet on Jeep Wade.
Text from the 515. Might be a good time to start playing real football and actually be competitive with real teams for real trophies that bleep and matter, or maybe 6 or 8 years ago, for that matter. I don't know what that means, but sure, yes, it is time.
I think this individual would like football. To see Nebraska win more.
Interesting.
And be competitive with teams that are considered better in football and win things that aren't just rivalry trophies that Nebraska's not winning anyways.
John writes in, Nebraska will. Well, he writes in a couple of different things. It is not working, and it is not going to work. We are just waiting for the buyout to get small enough at this point. Thanks, Dannon. Nebraska will definitely be transitioning back to pre-Raiola. Rule is bringing in a transfer quarterback that is a turnover machine. Remember Jeff Sims. And then a third text, when you suck and then get a lot better, you are then average. They might end up being average this year.
I think they've been average. They would like to get to above average.
Yeah, I think the difference with between Sims and Calandria is that like Calandria is not a runner. Like the headline here is not he's a runner.
Sure.
Right.
Sims wasn't supposed to be. It's just what he ended up being best at when he was here, and even that wasn't particularly great.
Yeah. I mean, I think the floor could drop out on that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think there will be a deal.
TJ Lateef is taking over as the starting quarterback because it didn't work for Calandria. I don't think it's the most likely case.
I don't think there will be a deal where, where it was like with Sims, but I certainly didn't think that with Sims.
Sure.
So, and people
where
always
they play the football.
People always tell me that I am an idiot for thinking that I was excited about Jeff Sims.
You're an idiot.
Rattlesnake Ron writes in, I think I am more inclined than ever to agree with the run the ball guys. I don't think we'll be successful again until we go back to being a very run heavy team that recruits local linemen that may not have the measurables. Well, it doesn't have to be local linemen, but guys that are under recruited, it could be developed without the risk of poaching. It seems like it worked for Nebraska before and it works for Iowa now. So Rattlesnake Ron is close to saying run the option again, basically, it sounds like.
Also sounds like don't pull guys out of the portal.
Yeah.
I don't know if either of these are.
What they're doing right now on as far as how Jeep Wade wants to build the offensive line has my full support.
Yeah.
I think they're getting some real talent there.
That they did recruit a bunch of local linemen, and all of those guys were passed on for transfer portal guys,
right? Which
could be part of a later segment here today.
Oh yeah, well, it's always a talking point.
It is.
Whenever you'd like it to be, that is anyway. All right. By the way, on the college football future power rankings,
are you going to the top of the list?
I'm going all the way to number 1. It is
UCF.
Notre Dame.
Oh,
Notre Dame. People are excited about the future of Notre Dame. That is
after getting left out of the playoff last year.
After getting left out of the playoff last year,
and a massive fit.
They will definitely not lose Marcus Freeman at any point in the future as their head coach. That won't happen. Or to the NFL or something like that, or to Ohio State, who, by the way, is number 2 in the rankings. Texas, Oregon, Georgia round out the top 5.
Alabama at number 10.
Indiana at number 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some interesting ones that I sort of scrolled by on this list, but for the most part, it's your pretty much every year contenders. All right. We'll take a timeout. Once again, I want to hear from you guys. 402-951-1620 on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. I do have a reminder for you all. It is from Arby's. We are teaming up, with Arby's for the Summer Sizzle giveaway. Turn up the flavor with Arby's. You could win a combo meal every week all summer long. 13 weeks of hot, delicious wins. No cooking, no stressing, sizzling bites on us and Arby's. Enter now, 1620thezone.com. Also today, on Sportsline Conduct, we'll have a taste test. And Arby's will be on site by our booth at the Omaha Baseball Village, handing out coupons on Saturday at the Omaha Baseball Village from 11 to 1. So drop by and grab your Arby's coupons before you head into the College World Series games. We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Broncos country, let's ride.
The Bronx is back in town. The Bronx is back in town. I said the Bronx is back in town. 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 The Bronx is back in town.
Michael Brooks, Husker 24/7 on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone.
And we are joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend Michael Brunts, who's back in town. Husker 24/7. Hi, Brunts. What's up?
Hello. What's up?
Good to talk to you this early in the morning.
Yeah, we're dragging ourselves out of the rack for this, so we're good.
Did you get any, do you have any surprises this morning when you woke up as far as things strewn around your yard or anything like that?
No, was it bad
Well,
up there?
I guess it was maybe just in a secluded area that Schaefer and I live in. I'm not sure, but I had stuff everywhere this morning.
Well, you guys kind of live like I think ballpark of where you guys live. It tends to get a little bit more severe storm activity up that way, from what I understand.
That has been historically true. Yes.
So not completely surprising, I guess.
You got to check in with the
bad stuff, like where trampolines and golf carts tipped over.
No, like a planter and a seat cushion were far away from where they needed to be.
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully you can rebuild.
I will. We will. We will rebuild.
He's considering taking some time off. Just
the TD Ameritrade. It was almost as bad as the TD Ameritrade tragedy, honestly.
Oh, geez. It's that time of year, so it makes sense.
It sure is. The famous Dave's tent is still wondering what happened to it.
Brunts, do you have you recovered from the busy weekend? All of the commitments, having to basically sort of be on call for everything, and then the expectation that another big recruiting weekend is coming.
Yeah, it was about every half hour. I think I timed it out. It was actually it was just like waves coming in, which that's better than just being washed over. But yeah, busy last weekend, and it kind of needed to be, right? Like, the way it feels like things are now, you can't wait till that last visit weekend to bring in guys that you want to add to the class. And I think Nebraska was able to close on enough guys, and then this weekend to be a little bit quieter. I mean, I think that's kind of the expectation, especially given that Nebraska's, kind of filling up spots. They're, honing in on a few guys. A couple of guys that were supposed to visit this weekend are making decisions where Nebraska is just going to be a gas station hat on the table, more than likely. And, that's a little less drama, I guess, this year, in part because I think guys are just making decisions, a little bit more easily. For a lot of the guys that were here last weekend, this was visit 2, 3, 4 to Nebraska for them. So you've heard all of the talks from the various people over there on the visits. They know what's there. They know what the expectation is. And it's just, I think, just a matter of kind of getting around the players and kind of getting a feel for kind of culture and stuff like that. So it makes it a little bit easier to say yes on those visits.
Do you think it'll be quiet enough this weekend for Matt Rule to make a quick pit stop at the Pat McAfee show in Omaha?
Is that going to conflict with the Bananas? They're in town too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. It probably will.
It's a big weekend here.
I forgot about the Bananas. Are you excited for the Bananas?
I'm curious to see how it goes. I don't have tickets. My name was not selected in the lottery, which follows between Banana Ball and the Masters.
Banana Ball, handshake beam, the Masters.
The actual lottery. When are you going to win one of these things?
British Open, the actual lottery. Random raffles, things like that. So yeah, but I know there's a lot of people who are very excited about the Bananas, and I'm very excited for them.
So they sold out several months ago, right? That's a done deal. Yeah. There's going to be 80,000 people there at the stadium on Saturday.
I don't know. It seems like there's a pretty steady stuff on Facebook Marketplace down here that's being shoved into my
your algo.
feed
Yeah.
that people are looking to switch. So I'll be curious to see what the crowd ends up looking like. But also you have the extremely short porch and left, which will also be kind of exciting as they hit towards West Stadium. So, but yeah, I think it'll be a good crowd. I'm guessing you'll probably get a lot of people from the College World Series that were in town for that, maybe come down to Lincoln for that as well. So lots going on. So I don't know, maybe Rule will go down to McAfee. I'd expect it, I guess. And then get the Bananas too. I'm sure he'll be involved with that somehow.
You have any thoughts on the CWS field now that it's set with our 8 teams? Any major takeaways for you from what you saw in this postseason for college baseball?
Yeah, I don't think this is a hot take. I mean, if I had like a team that I feel like has, not one of the national 8 seeds. I mean, Ole Miss when they came through here, and I don't think it's just the bias from having seen them up close, but I mean, I feel like they've got the hitting and the pitching to make a deep run there. I was pretty impressed with what they were able to throw out there, and the relievers that they used too. It wasn't just like a 1-inning thing. I mean, those guys were 2, 3, 4 innings. So that's one takeaway. I'm definitely backing West Virginia as the team du jour in this one. So that's basically as hot as my takes are going to get. But does it feel like we're kind of angling towards Ole Miss versus like I need to look at the bracket again. Can they get Georgia in the finals? Like,
they could.
We're headed?
They could, going? And we might.
Yeah, I don't want it.
Do you not want the all SEC final?
Yeah, I don't want an all SEC final.
That makes sense.
It's already bad enough we have an all SEC one side of the draw. Like,
you're guaranteed.
We played this thing in Hoover a couple weeks ago. We don't need to do it again.
That's true.
Single elimination. That's what they need. Just single elimination and Hoover. That's where they play it.
Bruns, okay, so going through the Rolodex here, we are pretty sure, as we've talked about before, that Nebraska baseball's Carson Yassa will not be returning, as he'll be a relatively high draft pick. We are unsure, I suppose, about Ty Horn, who announced, that I don't know. He basically announced his draft availability as far as
he didn't announce much. Is basically what he announced.
Right.
So,
he's like, I'm not sure what's going to happen, but thanks to everyone.
I'm a junior. Yeah, that's what he announced.
And then Cooper Katsky went in the portal. So that is 3/4 of the guys that you used on your weekend starts this season.
Yep.
What might that rotation look like as you project it out right now for next year?
Yeah, it's Blackwitz is going to be part of it. He did announce that he was coming back for whatever that's worth. That was an announcement that he made on social media. Nebraska has 2 or 3 junior college arms in their class. Ashton Nance is probably the one that stands out most. He was at Johnson County down in Kansas, was their best starter.
Oh, the team that went like 61-1 or whatever.
Yeah. Yep, that's the one. And so he's going to probably factor in there. They've got Cohen Nelson, who's a lefty out of Cloud County Community College. I believe he's a Grand Island native. Don't skewer me if that's incorrect, but he's from Nebraska. He had a really good year. He could potentially factor as a starter as well. They got Cole Moore, the transfer from Iowa, already out of the portal. He started 7 games last year at Iowa as a midweek guy. I think they project him as a potential weekend option as well. And then I think they're still looking in the portal for potential, pitching options that they can add. And so, it's going to be a mix of JUCO. They're definitely going to have to, kind of piece things together. One other guy you didn't mention, Jay-Sean Unger, is a draft eligible sophomore this year. If he's back, is he still a closer? Does he transition to being a starter next season? That's something else to watch there. So, it's going to look different for sure. And definitely they're going to have to find some guys that can fill some innings and be dominant on the weekend.
Wasn't Unger just a true freshman a year ago? Is he just old for his class? Is that why
he's old for his class? He turns 21. I I think it was either in May or like really close coming up here. I might have missed the birthday. But yeah, he'll be 21, so draft eligible this year. So we'll see where that kind of goes. He's going to go to the Cape Cod League this summer, and that kind of, I think, tells you what people think about him and what his potential is. I do know that whenever scouts were coming through Lincoln this spring, that he was a guy that definitely had their attention with the way he was throwing.
Rank the what are the best leagues for Nebraska players to go play in the summer? Because Cape Cod is the one that everybody knows of. The Northern League,
Northwoods.
What else is there?
Well, there's the Northwoods. Nebraska and Rob Childress have tended to send their kind of next up type pitchers. They send them to Alaska. And
love it.
I don't know if it's like a Stella got her groove back type situation for pitchers, but they basically, Childress has always sent people to Alaska to go up there. You fish a little bit. You don't worry about anything but baseball. Get away from everything, and it's kind of uncanny.
Sounds delightful.
With the way that it's played out, where guys kind of come back and they kind of have a clear head and seem to kind of play well the next year. So I think they've got Alden Pankinen's up there for them this year. And he's definitely I know he's a guy that they really like what his long-term potential is. But for Nebraska, that's a really important one. For whatever reason, Corvallis on the West Coast League has always been pretty popular too, in terms of guys that have kind of gotten a lot of work done. Unger was there last summer. I think Ty Horn was there one year. So that's kind of where they go. They kind of spread it around, but it's really heavy in the Northwoods League. And that's a league where they play a ton of games. And it's close to home. So that tends to be where a lot of guys go. But for Nebraska players, the Cape, Northwoods, and then kind of everything else.
Who among us mind wouldn't be clearer after a summer in Alaska?
How do I sign up for this?
Sounds incredible.
Do they have programs for washed-up ex-pitchers?
There's another kid the guy that's transferring, Caleb Hoover, who's transferring from South Carolina. He's in Santa Barbara this summer. I talked to him. He just gotten off the golf course, was going to the beach later that day, and on their off day, I was like, man, this sounds fantastic. I need to get in on that somehow.
Just become a college baseball player again. You got pretty good summers in front of you. All right, Bruns. Thanks as always. Appreciate you moving around for us this week. We'll talk to you later.
Anytime, guys.
Michael Bruns from Husker 24/7. Yes, so Nebraska is going to have guys in the Northwoods League, the Alaska League. The three guys in the Alaska League will all be playing for the Matsu Miners. The Matsu Miners. And then the Northwoods League, Preston Freeman will play for the Mankato Moondogs in the second half.
What a name.
The Lacrosse Loggers will be the home of Joey Senstock. And Reed Strohmeyer will be a member of the Fond du Lac Dock Spiders, which is exciting. And then Jay Sean Unger is going to the Cape with Falmouth, not with Freddie Prinze Jr.'s team.
Oh, no.
Which we didn't even mention. We didn't even get a summer catch reference in with Bruns. I know he loves the movie.
Who doesn't?
Very, very, very sad. But he was a member of course, the Chatham A's. And then the West Coast League, a couple members of the Corvallis Knights. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? No, I just wanted to look at the funny team names. So you'll have a Mankato Moondog. You'll have Matsu Miner, Fond du Lac Dock Spiders, Corvallis Knights, Lacrosse Loggers, Smithfield Tobbs in the Coastal Plains League.
What's your favorite name so far of these? Moondogs?
I think you got to go with the Dock Spiders.
Dock Spiders is pretty good. The Loggers works for the alliterative nature of it.
Although I do love the idea of the Alaska League. That just sounds incredible.
It really does.
We're going to start our game at 10 p.m. tonight because the sun's out.
Never sets.
Absolutely fantastic. All right, we'll take a break. Joey's got the headlines when we return on 1620 The Zone. Okay, time for the headlines with Mr. Headline. Joey, what do we got?
Headline number 1. This is in the great state of Louisiana. Man fleeing police attacked by an alligator before continuing his getaway.
Okay, it helps that it's in Louisiana. I'm more likely to click on it because it's in Louisiana.
You want to check in on the bog people?
Like, Louisiana is the second most intriguing state to get a headline from. That's not Florida.
Interesting. Okay. There's a lot of crossover with Louisiana and Florida.
Absolutely. I'm going for the same thing.
It's a lot of swampy stories.
Yep. Swamp people. Yeah. All right. What's the second headline?
Former Air Canada pilot arrested after allegedly flying with fake license. Interesting.
I don't know. How interesting is it, though?
I mean, I want to know details on it because I'm always interested.
Like how
in
long?
these
How
sort of
long?
things.
How long he's been?
Yeah, like how
was
did
he
pull this
doing?
off?
Was he doing a Catch Me If You Can?
No.
Another Catch Me If You Can reference, by the way. Abekanale. Abekanale.
All right, I'm leaving it up to you. Do you want to know about Louisiana or do you want to know about aviation?
I think it's pretty obvious.
Really?
You love Louisiana headlines.
I do, but I
he also loves air travel.
Yeah,
that
and
is
the
true.
movie
He
Catch
loves
Me If You Can.
Loves tracking.
And I want to know how long he's been getting away with it.
All right, 2. Here we go. Woo! Good. You left out this part of the headline, Joey. Like a movie script. Former Air Canada pilot arrested after allegedly flying with fake license.
We made the right decision.
Yes, we
I
did.
did.
A former pilot who worked for Air Canada for nearly 3 decades is facing several charges after police allege he used a fake license to misrepresent his qualifications, flying tens of thousands of passengers on planes he was not legally allowed to captain. During a news conference on Tuesday morning, Peel Police Deputy Chief Nick Milinovich said details of the investigation read like a movie script. The 59-year-old pilot, identified as Barrie resident Jeffrey Wall, worked with the airline for 27 years, retired in early 2025. The same year, Transport Canada launched a regulatory investigation into his credentials. Quote, as a captain, the accused was considered the pilot in command and was ultimately responsible for aircraft operation and safety during flight, is what one of the detectives on the case said. He began his career in 1998 as a first officer, was promoted to the rank of captain in 2009. He flew approximately 900 domestic and international flights on the forged license, police allege, earning millions of dollars of salary over the course of his career. The false credentials were flagged during a routine operational evaluation in March 2025 at Terminal 1 in Toronto. Anomalies were detected within the pilot license documentation he presented. The Transport Canada regulatory investigation later concluded, was followed by this criminal investigation. And there you go. The safety, Air Canada says, of these flights was not compromised by the incident, noting that all pilots undergo mandatory recurrent training every 6 months to validate their flying competency, which includes a flight check with certified Transport Canada check pilot every year. They say throughout his employment with Air Canada, the individual in question was a fully trained pilot who held a valid commercial pilot license, and he successfully met or exceeded the required recurrent training, demonstrating a high level of competency to safely operate large aircraft. So they say, no big deal here, but they're a little bit biased because they let this guy fly illegally for like 20 years.
Yeah.
So,
and they're open to, potential litigation somehow.
Right. Now, I guess I don't know what the pilot here was what he was trying to skirt around in getting his fake license.
No idea.
Seems like he was much like Frank Abagnale was in Catch Me If You Can.
A qualified but not necessarily licensed pilot.
Yeah. I mean,
this guy's
one
a
of the
lawyer.
things that he is being charged with is just criminal mischief, which makes me laugh for some reason.
That is mischievous. That's
very mischievous.
There's no doubt about that. Imagine how many people flew on one of his flights over the years and had no idea that he was doing so illegally.
All of them.
Every
had
single
no
person, including the airlines.
Yeah.
Including the airline himself. That's crazy. But not as movie scripty, I guess, as maybe the headline would give away. But it's still a good choice for a story. Thank you, Joey, for the headlines. We appreciate it as always. We are halfway home on a Wednesday. Sam McEwen's coming up at the bottom of the 8 o'clock hour. Lauren Michelson's still to come as well. We are back right after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, just about 8 o'clock here on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer, Joey Warcola with you this morning. Couple things on summer baseball teams. Mike writes in, he says, dock spiders greater than Lake Country dock hounds, which are in the American Association. So we're talking about the Fond du Lac dock spiders. Also, El Scorcho writes in on the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed, at Happenshea, famous Mankato Moondog alum Evan Porter. How about that?
Look at that.
I didn't know. I had no idea he had a stint as a moondog.
He was once a moondog.
That'd be cool to say. I was once I wonder if there's any hats or shirts or if you get
moondog merch.
Yeah, you get any moondog merch.
Let's see what moondog merch
I don't want to buy it. I want it, and I want it from like 20 years ago or something like that. I don't know. I'm sure there is some Moondogs. In order to name a team the Moondogs, you would have to have some sort of merchandise available online to purchase. I would think.
Wow, their website is
bad.
Well, the website takes you to another website, but doesn't have a clickable link for the website. So,
wow,
these hats don't look great.
Sad.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to be buying any Moondog merch.
Okay. No, thank you then. Fine by me.
That's all right.
Maybe the one of the Alaskan teams will have something that they can pass along. But yes, baseball is the talk of the town. We were just talking about during the break how coming soon to Warner Park there will be some 1620 The Zone hosts throwing out the first pitch at an Omaha Storm Chasers game.
And I think it should be a relay.
And Schaefer thinks that we should start it in center field.
Let's show off our skills of just hitting the cutoff man correctly.
You'd have to do it.
Yeah.
Which is in theory more difficult than throwing it 60 feet off of the mound. It'd actually be like 52 feet because you're in front of the mound.
We'll put you out in center. You're going to throw it to me, who's going to be in short center.
Okay.
And then I will throw it to Grim, who will be on the mound.
All right. We think we could do that with.
And then Grim throws it to the catcher. Or as Joey said, could just run it in and put it into his glove.
What are the odds that all of those throws end up?
What are the odds that Matt McMaster would be in studio at 8 a.m.?
Pretty good today.
Just to retrieve his headphones and laptop on the chair.
That's right, because he's on site somewhere else.
Yeah. They're at Warner Park.
He's got to be here to do what? I'm not sure.
Well, he just retrieved his laptop and headphones.
Because those are things that you wouldn't take home with you if you're doing
I'm not sure why that was in the I'm not sure why that was in the studio.
He has a desk.
But that's okay.
He doesn't really use his desk anymore. He hates that desk now.
He's sitting in that desk all the time.
Well, he's stopped using it lately. He's over in the producer hole more. He's just
he better not be hanging out at my desk.
I had to bring my 100-foot long Ethernet cable so it's out there waiting to be plugged in at Warner Park today.
How many shows did you do at Warner Park?
Probably
you like
handful.
One a month,
usually
about the summer. Usually,
well, I ended up. We used to do it where each of the 3 shows had one show at Warner Park, and then we ended up changing it so I did all 3 of them on the midday show. Because it didn't make any sense for the morning show to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say
it made also almost no sense for the afternoon show to do it because the games would usually start.
Yeah, I've been out at Warner Park doing shows before,
right,
with Josh,
and they would do it in like the store, and there just wouldn't be anybody there.
Good time
and whatever. So we figured let's just do it during the day,
just make it make sense,
like during the game.
Yeah, this all makes sense to me.
Game starts at noon, and so we did. I don't know, we did probably a handful over the last couple of years. That's fun.
I famously did one last year. It was fun.
That's right.
Joey had fun at a baseball park.
Joey got to see me eating a corn dog.
I had a corn dog as well. Thanks to Black Cat.
Thank you to Black Cat.
Yeah, he was there.
Indeed. He brought us the corn dogs. Maybe somebody will bring Matt a corn dog today. When the
I will be
Storm
watching.
Chasers take on the Las Vegas team who had to abandon their ballpark to
the Aviators,
make room for the A's to hit 400 home runs over the last 2 days. A park they will not be playing Major League Baseball at, for the record.
It was a much quieter game yesterday where they won like 7-6.
It's about as quiet game as you're going to get in Vegas, I suppose.
It's true.
If you were checking out our Twitter earlier, you probably saw something funny, or maybe not funny. I'm not sure, but it's a picture of Brendan Sorsby photoshopped, quote unquote, on top of a bowl of sorbet, because Schaefer asked earlier if he wanted to talk about Brendan Sorbet, and I thought, wow, I love that nickname. I'm going to keep that. And then we made a graphic that looks like this.
Well, we determined that like Brendan Sorbet is exactly how it would be pronounced if someone was doing the outrage clickbait or outrage engagement farming, if you would.
Oh yeah, where they like purposefully get stuff wrong.
Yeah.
I love those.
So that's sort of where it rises out of. It's a tremendous effort from you on the edit.
Thank you.
It's like a Hayes Fawcett level creation.
I know. I should get paid for these.
Recruits should be reaching out to you and like, hey,
will be.
I want my commitment graphic where you're putting me on some sorbet.
Can you put me on a sorbet? Honestly, I will.
You could be the sorbet graphics guy.
I will provide that service to anybody who wants to make any sort of announcement. If you do that and you tell me what it is, I will put your picture on top of a sorbet.
Wow.
I'll need a crash course from you, Connor.
No, this is my job, Joey.
During Friday shout outs.
Yes.
They get them into you early,
just
and
in
you're
case.
just releasing them as they happen.
Just in case what, Joey? I die and I can't make a sorbet graphic anymore?
Just in case you're not available.
Oh, I'm available to make sorbet
Just in case
graphics.
you need a backup. You need a backup sorbet graphic.
Nobody could make the sorbet graphic like me. I definitely didn't put that picture, just place it on top of a thing of sorbet.
I'm just going to send you a photo of my child. You can put him on sorbet. I'll send it to Shelby. And she'll be like, what is this?
I'll put it.
You can make a calendar.
Sorbet.
You can make a sorbet calendar full of recruits.
That's true. It'd be the same picture of that same sorbet, just with multiple different people.
Everyone's getting red sorbet.
Everybody's getting red sorbet. So Brendan Sorbet, who was trying to be the quarterback at Texas Tech and will apparently still get the opportunity to due to a ruling in Lubbock, of all places, the other day. Some fallout to this, as you can imagine, over the last 24 to 48 hours. The Big 12 athletic directors held a spirited call around midday yesterday with Commissioner, big idea commissioner man, Brett Yormark. The call underscored that the league's athletic directors, except Texas Tech's Kirby Hocutt, who did release a statement yesterday, hilariously, are united around the notion that Brendan Sorbet should not be eligible for next season. The conversation, according to Pete Thamel, came in the wake of a hailstorm of reaction from league executives who utilized unusual on-the-record candor, criticizing Judge Ken Curry's decision to grant Brendan Sorbet a temporary injunction that is expected to protect his eligibility for this season. The tenor of Tuesday's call being strongly against Texas Tech and Hocutt was an expected result, considering athletic directors in the league have said they are, quote, disgusted, quote, disheartened, and, quote, sad over the judge's decision.
Sad.
I am all these things, but most of all,
causing me great harm.
I am just sad. Yeah, maybe that's what they should do. All the Big 12 athletic directors should get together.
They're not angry. They're disappointed.
And then they should say that their mental health is being hurt by the fact that Sorbet gets to play. And then they can, get a reverse injunction or something like that.
Reverse injunction.
Reverse injunction. Just change it. Reverse it. Make it different. So there's this is not the end of the fallout. We talked about some of the fallout yesterday where ADs were going around to each other and they were saying, don't schedule Texas Tech. And obviously the Big 12 ADs got on a call yesterday and said they really didn't want to do it. This is one of the most universally unpopular things that has happened in a long time, I think, in college football.
I was trying to think of things that were this unpopular in sports, whether it be a decision or the reinstatement or a decision to suspend or whatever it would be. And honestly, I'm drawing a lot of blanks. Like, it's rare to have this much of a unified, people are this unhappy with something.
Let's see if Al would know.
I don't know what else it would be. Short of, like a lockout, everybody's unhappy with the result of a lockout.
Sure.
Like.
But the reason there's a lockout is because there's an argument between two sides, right?
So I can't think of something where it was this universal. People were so unhappy with the result of what has occurred here.
How about, okay, so I asked Al, and here's some of the things that Al gave me. Bartman.
Steve Bartman?
Yeah, everyone was universally mad about Bartman. Is this true?
I don't know. Were people mad, or did they find it comically hilarious if they weren't a Cubs fan?
That's kind of where I was at. Yeah.
And then like comically because like he just looked like the biggest goober on the planet in that moment.
Yeah.
So
I definitely didn't feel an emotion about this. I was mad about the Sorbet thing.
There was also a whole other game that happened after the Bartman game, or pitches that occurred after that. Like,
don't go there, Schaefer.
There's so many different ways that things could have went there. Like it's dumb to pin it all on Steve Bartman. So I reject that notion from Al.
Okay. The 2012 Pacquiao Bradley boxing decision, widely considered one of the most infamous scoring controversies in boxing. Manny Pacquiao appeared to dominate Timothy Bradley, yet Bradley was awarded with a split decision, sparking outrage and calls for systemic reform.
I don't remember this. Obviously boxing has a lot of these. UFC has these as well, where it's an unpopular split decision. I don't remember this one specifically.
Okay.
I remember people being unhappy with paying for Pacquiao Mayweather and it being such a meh of a fight.
No, this is Pacquiao Bradley.
No, that's what I mean. So like any Pacquiao thing that I have stems from Pacquiao Mayweather.
Got it. The 1988 Olympic 100-meter sprint, often referred to as the dirtiest race in history. Ben Johnson was stripped of his gold medal after testing positive for a banned substance. However, Carl Lewis, who was awarded the gold, had failed doping tests during the trials, but was allowed to compete, according to Al.
Okay.
Lindsey Jacobella set the 2006 Olympics. In a snowboarding cross, American superstar Jacobellis was on the verge of securing gold, but wiped out after attempting a flashy showboating grab on her final jump, allowing another competitor to pass her. I don't remember almost all of these things.
Yeah, I got nothing on that one either.
So if these are the most unpopular moments in sports history,
feels like Sorbet has risen to the top.
Sorbet is obviously going to number one, I think, at this point. Everyone, and which adds to the, I think it adds to the emotion that you're seeing around the sports world right now toward Texas Tech, because there's no way they can't see it, right? There have been instances over time where teams, universities, entities, whatever it is, they'll go to bat for a guy who they love and trust, and like this is our guy, and we got to stand by him. There's no reason for Texas Tech to be doing this, and everyone knows it, right?
Yeah.
And we're not saying, like, one of the arguments that's come out over the last 2 days that I've really, I thought a lot about is they are fighting for his eligibility to put him back into a scenario where the mental health thing obviously crops up significantly more when you're under the type of pressure and scrutiny that a starting Power 5 quarterback would be, who's trying to win a national championship. They are obviously not committed to getting him the help that he needs, quote unquote, because of his quote unquote gambling addiction. Yeah. And this is not, it's so clearly not about what they're saying it's about for everyone. And they know it. And so there's the aspect where they're blatantly lying to our faces as well, which obviously,
if you're worried about his mental health, congrats. You've just successfully made him the least popular player in maybe sports right
I just
now.
put him on top of a Sorbet. That's how unpopular he is.
Nobody wants to be on top
Nobody
of a
wants
sorbet.
to be sorbet. You've been sorbet, Brendan Sorsby.
Instead of you've been served, you're sorbet.
You've been sorbet. Let's take a phone call on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline. Here is Nate. Hey, Nate, what's up?
My friends, good morning. Been a couple weeks. How you been?
Good. You?
I'm well. It was kind of amazing. Like, as soon as I crossed Hamilton, all of a sudden the rest of the city went dark and now it's drizzling. When I woke up an hour ago, it was nice and sunny.
I know.
Crazy, but
it's weird.
That moved in very fast, like very fast, really weird. So I got a couple for you. And again, some of them have local bias, but bear with me. I remember even as a teenage boy, how wildly unpopular it was for Tom Osborne outside of Nebraska to play Lawrence Phillips.
Sure.
That made people like really angry nationwide. Same vein, the initial 5 or 6 days between Sandusky, where Penn State was trying to stand by Joe Paterno before Joe left, that was hellish. I remember I had just arrived at Fort Sill and was staying in the Army Hotel until I got my housing, just watching ESPN nonstop. Like the rest of the country wanted to burn State College to the ground. And they're like, no, we love Joe Pa for 5 days. It was crazy. Not so much in the media because the sports writers are the problem, but I've actually never met a human being, male, female, any generational cohort or race, that actually thought Pete Rose belonged outside of the Hall of Fame, except the stupid sports writers. I think that one's definitely up there. And ironically, the same subject. And then, though it is scripted, there is so much conversation, even today, about whether it was a shoot or a real, the Montreal screw job in professional wrestling. I mean, you want to get people fired up. No,
what
I mean,
an inclusion.
Fight over this.
What an inclusion.
I mean, right, because it's fake, but was that part of it fake? And then
do you think Brett screwed Brett?
Well played. But I mean, like, you have people that just come to that scenario today because details are still coming out 20 years later. So, I mean, that's perpetually hated. And then you have the last one. And again, this lands in Nebraska's backyard, the Sam Keller, Ed O'Bannon lawsuit. Everybody in my generation, I'm 43, we grew up on NCAA football, and the way they torched that over name, image, likeness, and what that has evolved into. I mean, listen, I love the Lord, but if I met Sam Keller, I would have choice words. I mean, you robbed like 15 years of my life, bro.
Yeah, 15 years of prime video game playing time.
Seriously.
Sam.
There were a lot of deployments in there, and there was no NCAA football. Tough
Crazy
stuff, man.
Thanks, Nate.
Love you guys. Always good to talk.
Appreciate it. That's a good call there.
That's an excellent list of things.
Just coming up with
just general outrage.
Things that everyone has looked around and said, what in the hell are they doing?
So I've thought about the Lawrence Phillips thing as well. Not as a direct comparison of Brendan Sorbet, but sort of this idea that coaches will often say that it's more valuable for a player to be around, like that he needs a team more now than ever.
Yeah.
And so we can't quit. Like that's the common coach's playbook thing.
And there is absolute truth to that.
No, that's the thing. There's definite truth to it. There's also like this idea that they might need to be around the team for support. That doesn't mean that they deserve to get to play the sport. Like those are two entirely different things.
100%.
And so like I was thinking about that with the Lawrence Phillips. The other ones he said, Joe Paterno, Penn State, total visceral anger, like well beyond what this is.
Yeah, like I can't believe
very different reasons.
Right.
One of the weirdest weeks of anyone that's ever had to follow Nebraska football, whether you're a fan, whether you're a player, whether you're a coach, whether you're a media member, that game was never going to happen. Then it happened. Like it was one of the best shows of leadership that Bo Pelini ever had.
100%.
If you were certainly
there's still
around there, like he was. I will not speak highly of Bo Pelini's leadership in a lot of ways. That would be one of the times I would.
There's still a very famous picture of Ron Brown does this after every game. He goes out and does the prayer, and everyone kind of joining in, and kind of everybody in the stands as well. Like, yeah, Nebraska played a very weirdly stabilizing role in that day, which they had not been very.
And yet, if you ask me, what do you think about when you think about the Penn State game in 2011? It's never any of the circumstance. It's never any of that. I think about Levante David just freelancing and stuffing that fullback on the 4th and 1 or whatever it was. God,
much to the chagrin of Bo.
Levante was so good.
He was very, very good.
Very, very good.
Single-handedly won Nebraska like a lot of games.
Multiple games.
During
multiple games, which you never say about a linebacker.
I like the Pete Rose inclusion too, and I'm glad that Nate said that because I guess I've never really thought about it out loud. I'm like, yeah, put put whatever, put guys in the, but I'm a team like put guys with steroids in the Hall of Fame too.
Yeah.
And I know there's a big debate about that.
I have no reason to believe that he isn't lying about gambling on or against teams that he coached or played for.
Right.
So like that part of it is he's a known liar. So I don't believe anything he says on it. And I don't have any reason to feel like he should be in the Hall of Fame.
And we're talking about the Hall of Fame.
Right.
We're not talking about the person like trying to play the next day
Sure.
or whatever it is, which in this case.
But I did laugh because I am one of those sports writers.
Text from but you have never voted you have never not voted for Pete Rose. I guess you've always never voted for Pete Rose, but you've never voted.
Yeah, I've never voted.
Right. That's what I was trying to say.
It would be amazing if randomly the Baseball Hall of Fame was like, you have absolutely no credentials, but you care way too much about this. Here's a vote.
I mean, they have a lot of Hall of Fame ballots.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of people who don't watch baseball that vote in the Hall of Fame.
There are.
And we see it every year.
Famously. Texter writes in from the 402, what about Lance Armstrong or A-Rod with steroids? Lance Armstrong is
definitely a sports villain.
Yeah.
No question.
That happened very, very fast.
A-Rod's a weird one because I don't know. And maybe I just misremember this because I never particularly cared for him. I just feel like no one really liked A-Rod to begin with.
No.
And then he tried to make people like him and it didn't work.
Well, he did that. Where it really, really turned bad for him is when he backed himself out of the Red Sox trade, where he was supposed to go.
And then also slapping the ball out of the hand.
Right. But that was after he became a Yankee.
Sure. Right.
Like when he blocked the Reds, like they had the Red Sox trade done. And
that is baseball. That was like, yeah, we're not doing this.
And that's when everyone started to hate A-Rod.
Yeah.
Because he became a Yankee instead.
Nobody wants you to become
cardinal sin of being a free agent. Don't be a Yankee. Otherwise, people will immediately start to hate you.
Well, he was traded, but yeah, same concept. There was only
in your career if you're a star.
Just like with Scooble, there's really only one team where he's going to end up, and it's the Dodgers.
Have you seen? By the way, just quick. Have you seen some of the Scooble rehab stuff? He pitched a couple innings at a ball or whatever.
You made him look silly.
Well, yes, but he's also very large. Like, I'm worried about him. He's way too big.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's put on a bunch of weight?
It looks like it.
Okay.
I mean, he's always been a really big guy.
Tall guy.
But, yeah. I don't know. Check out some of the pictures or videos or whatever.
Now you're making me think that he's going to look like David Wells.
Look.
Okay. All right.
Look.
Now this is peak interest.
It's not like he's not like flopping around. He's not like flabby, but he's big. He is a big fella. I can't remember what team, the West Michigan Whitecaps, I guess he's pitching for or something like that this week. Yeah, it's odd. All right. We will take a quick timeout. So anyway, the penance for Brendan Sorsby is that he gets to be called Brendan Sorbet now by us for the rest of time. Sam McEwen is coming up next on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone. But first, yes, I got you, Joey. I got you. Let's give away some Funplex tickets. So if you'd like to go to Funplex this summer, the Mammoth Kickoff Week is upon us. A whole bunch of new stuff to see at Funplex this summer, as there is just about every summer. A great place to hang out. So why not go on us? 402-951-1620 right now. Just first person who calls. Just boom. Got to get on it right now. 402-951-1620. We're to get you a couple passes to Funplex over the summer. You can have your fun, of course, there at 69th and Q. Once again, 402-951-1620. We're back with Sam after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, we welcome back more of Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer with you. Joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend Sam McEwen from the Omaha World Herald. Sam, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Sam, I know we're good. I know that you're a NBA Finals watcher, and you're an NBA playoffs watcher. What are we headed for here between these two teams?
Oh, I mean, I think it's been a really good series already. So every game now is just going to be, I think, sort of a battle. And it could be one of those deals where the Knicks finish it in 5. It could be 7 games. And the Spurs, get it done in game 7. I've really enjoyed watching somewhat of the contrast in styles between the two teams. Obviously, the Knicks are more experienced than the Spurs, but the Spurs are a lot of fun to watch. And I've got a couple of people, who I know who are Spurs fans, and I'm like, you can enjoy the next 10 years because this isn't going to be a 1-year deal. I mean, they and OKC are going to battle it out a lot, but they've got 3 guys that they can build their franchise around who are going to be, all-stars every year, and Castle and Harper and Wemby, and they might grab the title this year. They could do it. But just imagine how good they're going to be in 3 years. Like, imagine how good the Spurs are going to be when Wemby posts up just a little bit more, like about 20% more than he does now. And it's not, he doesn't try to be Kevin Durant, and he tries to be, a combination of Kevin Durant and Kareem. Wait until that day comes, and it's coming, And when he kind of learns the entire scope of his ability, it'll be something to watch. So, I'm always been a Western Conference guy, and so I almost always root for the Western Conference unless it's the Lakers. And so, I'm rooting for the Spurs. That said, if the Knicks win it, that would be really cool for that city. And that city does actually not win that many championships outside of the New York Yankees, which hasn't won a championship in a long time. They don't win that many championships in the city of New York. And so it's actually kind of a big deal when somebody does.
I wanted to ask you, I mean, you've watched a lot of basketball for a long time. What is like the Knicks brand for you? Because you've seen quite a few different iterations of them, and they've been so bad lately. Like, seeing them in the finals, what does that sort of mean to you as someone who's watched a lot of NBA throughout time?
Well, what I would say is that, this particular team is they're like a little bit of old school basketball, right? So like Brunson there's a lot of Isaiah Thomas and Jalen Brunson. And Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry are like the 2 guys who led teams as 6'1" or 6'2" guards. I don't know what Isaiah Thomas's height was, but like not that many times in history has there been like point guard led teams like that size. I'm not talking Magic Johnson here, but like that win NBA titles. And so Allen Iverson went to 1 NBA final. That's the only one he got. And of course it's historic and it's memorable because he won 1 game in the NBA finals against the Lakers. And so like, it's not that common. And so there's a little bit of old school appreciation that I think people have, where Brunson's game reminds you of a lot of guys who used to play in maybe like the 80s and the 90s. And then there's an appreciation for like the relationships that the guys have on the team. And so like Josh Hart and Kat and all the other guys that are there's just a certain vibe that franchise has. And that like, most of the guys are pretty likable, and you can already tell that like Wemby's going to be sort of, you love him or you hate him. He's going to be one of these guys in the NBA who, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, he is who he is, and man, do I appreciate that he is exactly who he is. And he's a little bit pretentious, but he's also, thoughtful and all those things. But like the Knicks, everybody on that team, everybody just likes them. And so I think there's a lot of people in the sport of basketball, including a lot of guys who have followed it longer than I have and know way more about it than I do, who are rooting for them. They are. They're just rooting for them. They're rooting for them the way that they rooted for the Garnett, Pierce Celtics to win 1 title, which they did. They're rooting for them that way. Like, they're rooting for that to happen so that like a historic franchise in a major American city can can win an NBA title, and they can coast on that for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
If they win the NBA title, Jalen Brunson's never going to have to buy a slice of pizza in New York
they're good.
ever again.
Yeah.
Look at, and I appreciate the way that they honor Walt Frazier, or the way that they honor Patrick Ewing, and Ewing didn't get it done. It wasn't his fault, obviously, but like the way they honor, Patrick Ewing, like the Knicks care about their history. And if they win one here, then, Jalen Brunson becomes, one of those, he's like Reggie Jackson. Like he becomes that's the name that, I don't know, Reggie Jackson was very polarizing and Jalen Brunson isn't, but he becomes like that. Jeter. Yeah. I mean, Jeter won a lot. So, but yes, similar, like he just becomes sort of a universally liked guy, and he becomes one of the names in the history of New York sports, alongside Eli Manning. So I mean, that's my favorite of the bunch. Like you have Mark Messier, and you have you have Walt Frazier and Willis Reed and Eli Manning. Like one guy is completely,
way out of his
Eli
element.
Manning is the accidental tourist on two of the great pass rushing teams of all time, and so one of the most fun arguments I ever get to have is whether he's a Hall of Famer or not. And I actually say he is. I'm okay with saying he's a Hall of Famer, but like, man, did he walk into a great situation?
Sure did. Yep.
He would not have done that had he been the quarterback of the Cincinnati Bengals.
It takes a lot, that's for sure. And he was in the right place at the right time.
Oh yeah,
no doubt about it. Sam McEwen from the World Herald is with us. Sam, we were discussing this before you came on with us. The Brendan Sorsby deal. Is this?
Yeah.
I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but this feels like as one-sided in terms of the rest of the sporting world's reaction to this as we've seen in a while. Immediate reactions from conference commissioners and ADs and presidents and things like that. Immediate, sudden, and harsh reactions to his eligibility, Brendan Sorsby's eligibility. Is this unlike anything you've seen in a while? Or I guess where would you sort of place this story right now?
I would. Yeah, it's unlike anything. And where was it a month ago? Because nothing's changed in the last month about the fact that Texas Tech is willing to play this guy. That was true a month ago, and it's true now. And now the pressure being applied to Texas Tech should have been applied a long time ago. It should have been applied a month and a half ago and said, listen, if you take this thing to court, the consequences will already be set in place. Unfortunately, I think everybody sort of figured a judge would take care of it. And you can't do that in today's society. You can't do it. You can't assume that a court of law is going to pick that up. But yes, what I think has happened is up until now, I think some of the grumbling was, quiet. Diego Pavia getting an extra year of eligibility, whatever it was. Now all of a sudden it's like, oh my goodness, there's literally nothing that a judge won't agree to. And agree to it in sort of a 3-page kind of shrug. Bye. I'm going back to Austin.
Yeah.
Goodbye. There's no accountability for the judge. None. So like, I think this is one of those moments where the NCAA understands, or the people within the NCAA understand, oh my, we better fix this, because there's no hurdle out there that we're going to be able to clear at this point. Tell me who, if you go to a right judge and just say, guess what? I just want another year of eligibility because I plan on remaining in college and getting my master's degree, and why not? There's judges out there to be like, that sounds fine to me. Okay. You can have a 6th year. You can have a 7th year. You can have an 8th year. Oh, you're going to get a doctorate? You can have a 9th year. It doesn't matter to me. That's the final frontier. And I was saying this on our podcast yesterday. I'm like, I've heard Jay Billis say a lot of things over however many years. And Jay Billis is sort of the spokesperson of players' rights. I've never heard him say, a coach can stay at a school for 10 years, but an athlete can't. And the reason he hasn't said that is because he knows that if all of a sudden this turns into a 10-year job, it's not anything resembling college sports anymore, and it no longer belongs to college. It just doesn't. And so the one thing you'll never hear anybody say is that Caitlin Clark should have unlimited eligibility so long as she remains enrolled in college. Nobody says that. And the reason they don't say it is because they darn well know that it's not quite like professional sports. Because what makes college sports is the fact that it ends. And it isn't Father Time that ends your eligibility in college sports. It is a clock. And if you remove that clock, it ain't college anymore. It's just some other pro league. And you don't hear people talk about that. The players' rights people don't say, they ought to be able to stay in college for 12 years and get 2 doctorates if they want to. No one says that. That's the final frontier. Here's what's scary. There might be an athlete out there who tries to push it, and there is no guarantee that a judge won't look at that and go, sounds fine to me. And now I think they know, after this Sorsby ruling, that they have no protection from the courts when it comes to common sense. So they better figure it out real fast. The way this situation gets resolved is Texas Tech needs to pay Brendan Sorsby his money, and they need to tell him that he's not going to play. Yep. And I don't know if Texas Tech can do that, because the only person who can really greenlight that is the person who gave them the money in the first place. Yep. He doesn't seem to be on board with paying the money out and not letting the kid play.
Nobody's going to step up to the plate there, I don't think.
I don't think so. Like, the right thing to do is to pay him his money and say, listen, we fought for you. We've changed our minds. We realize now it would be wrong, but here's your money. Good luck to you. It would be wrong to say, we changed our minds, Brendan, and you don't get the money. No, that's not right. That would not be fair. They could have done that a month and a half ago and said, hey, you lied to us. You didn't tell us you bet on however many games, so you're out. They didn't do that. They stood behind him. So now they got to pay him out his money, and they have to walk away from him. And I just don't know that Texas Tech's going to do that. I think they're going to say, you know what, we're going to pay him, and we're going to play him, and we believe in him, and they're going to be the ones who stand up for that. And it's
Tim, I think they enjoy it. I think they enjoy it. I mean, that's what it seems like to me. That's the vibe they're giving off. Like, they're happy to sort of be the villain or the disruptor. I think in Cody Campbell's mind, that's what he thinks he's doing.
I think you're probably right. I wonder what Joey McGuire thinks, and I wonder if he's really been asked that. I don't know that Joey McGuire has been asked to this point, how can you do this? Like, how do you think this is good for that kid to play him? I don't know if he's really been asked that question. It's more of a moral question than it is anything else. But, like, do I think 6 years ago, before the NCAA Alston case, that Brendan Sorsby would be playing? I don't. I think what makes this situation tricky is the money. Like, if they didn't have to pay $5 million for him, I don't know that he would be playing now. I think it would just be like, well, he can't play, and we're not going to be very good, but it didn't cost us anything.
True.
But I think they know darn well that they have to pay him the money if they're going to walk away from him. And I just don't think, it's a tricky situation, and I don't like it, and it's obviously wrong, but this should have happened a month and a half ago. I mean, somebody should have said, listen, if you take this thing to court and you try to get this guy eligible, we're out. And it didn't happen a month and a half ago, and now it's happening, and it doesn't feel like it may not work, because I think they've gone too far down the road.
Yep. Sam McKeown from the Omaha World Herald. Great stuff as always, Sam. Will we see you this weekend at the ballpark?
Will. Thursday I'll be there for media day, and then of course the Saturday night game. I will cover that. So it'll be Texas, Georgia, marquee matchup, and we'll see what happens.
All right. See you down there, Sam.
Take care. Bye.
Sam McKeown from the Omaha World Herald. Great coverage from the folks at the OWH during the series and beyond as well. We'll take a quick break, round at the hour, right after this on 1620 The Zone. People forget that there is an offseason of clickbait basketball stuff that happens too. It's not just football clickbait offseason. There is basketball clickbait offseason.
Basketball clickbait?
Basketball clickbait offseason.
I've never engaged.
No. You have not. You would never do such a thing.
But now that I root for a basketball power.
Here is a Here
How does it feel?
Is a list of this came from one of this aggregator accounts yesterday. I'm going to put it up on the YouTube here. College football and college basketball equivalents over the last 10 seasons, Power 5 only based on win percentage. Okay? So the equivalents are as you see now if you're looking at it. For example, the college football equivalent of Ohio State to basketball is apparently Houston. This is just according to winning percentage.
Okay.
Alabama is Duke. Alabama football is Duke basketball. Georgia football is Kansas basketball, so on and so forth. Ole Miss and Creighton apparently are tied with the same thereabouts of a winning percentage in football to basketball. So we ask, is Ole Miss Creighton?
I don't know if Ole Miss is Creighton, but the idea of Iowa football and North Carolina basketball, like
pretty funny.
I know again it's a winning percentage thing.
Pretty funny.
But it is really funny.
There was a better way to do this. They could have done literally any other qualifier to make this a list that I would like.
The fact that they did it this way and it gave us some things is great. I don't know if there's a lot of Ole Miss Creighton comparison I can think of.
I don't think so.
Like
Ole Miss. I mean, Ole Miss in football. So what they're saying is they have a ballpark, I guess, on the football and basketball curve. Like they have. Ole Miss has the 22nd best win percentage in college football over the last 5 years. Creighton has the 22nd best win percentage in college basketball over the last 5 years. That's what they're saying. And there's no comparison, I don't think, outside of that. That's literally it.
Yeah, I don't know. Like if you're trying to make one.
Oh, actually, I got one.
Okay.
They both hate Alabama.
Wow, look at that.
That is true. That is true.
I think the thing that most comes to mind of it is that they are perceived or are good teams that maybe aren't the best team in their conference, more or less.
Yeah, perceived
like competitive teams that aren't.
They're
the
like,
best
oh, they're
team.
going to be good every year. I'm pretty convinced of that.
Right.
Are they going to win the conference and do what? Like, probably not. But are they good?
They'll be there.
Yeah.
They both underwent coaching changes, so they got that going for them. Pete Golding and
one a little bit more
and
controversial than the other one.
The Creighton one, right?
Does that does that make Nebraska the Mississippi State? They just can't beat Mississippi State?
Well, I did notice that Nebraska was not on the list.
Well, their win percentage for 5 years wouldn't quite make it.
If you
4
did it,
years, it'd get close. 3 years for sure.
3 years, you'd be on the list for sure.
No doubt. So
I was hoping that football would make it on the list, but that we knew wasn't true either.
Well,
they'd probably be paired up with DePaul and
what would it be? So what is Nebraska's football win percentage over the last 5 years? 5 years.
Like 46%.
Decent guess. All right. So do you think you could do the math along? So
7-6, 7-6, 5-7, 4-8, and then 3-9. Is that the fifth year?
Uh-huh.
So it's gonna be lower than the 46 was my guess. So
33 probably for percentage.
No, probably 41%.
So let's just game it out. You've played 12 games. This is a terrible segment now. All of a sudden, it's terrible.
Well, you're 14-12 over the last 2 years, so start there, and then you would add 5-7.
Oh,
so
your brain works different than
you're
mine.
19-19,
like
and then
this.
you're 23-27, and then you are 26 and 36. So 26 and 36. I think my last one that I guessed around was 41%. I don't know the exact math on that.
41%.
Okay, my last guess was 41%.
41%.
Right. Okay,
so I don't know who that is equivalent in basketball, but
probably like Minnesota basketball.
Oh yeah, probably. That's not a bad one. They've been okay.
Yeah,
recently. John writes in, off-season basketball clickbaiters are absolutely disgusting and bring nothing to society. Well, however, let me add something to this. I know John will love this. There is another game. Last night I found 32-0, which is college basketball.
Oh boy.
College basketball's version of the original 82-0.
I can't wait to see who I can put James Palmer with.
James Palmer came up a couple of times. I ended up not picking him because I needed a different position or something like that, but he would have been an option had I had a 2-guard spot open or a wing.
It'd be a good option.
I had a national champ. I had a 32-0 team. I took a picture of it last night, so hang on.
Throw it up there. Let us see your 32.
Well, I'm not going to have enough time to throw it up there. Okay. But here was my 32-0 team. Bennett Sturts.
Okay.
Jody Meeks.
Okay.
Like Kentucky Jody Meeks.
I remember him.
Jaime Jaquez.
Yep.
Zion Williamson.
Yep.
Luka Garza.
That's a pretty good team.
That team went undefeated. They won
a
the
little too much Iowa for everybody's taste, but what are you going to do?
Had to happen. How
did you get Iowa twice?
We are back after this on 1620 The Zone. Good luck with that, Dan. 9 o'clock here on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer with you. A reminder, we'll continue throughout the week to give away Funplex tickets for Mammoth Kickoff Week. Funplex, 69th and Q. It's got the new roller coaster Mammoth opening up very soon, and it will be Nebraska's largest roller coaster. Always something fun at Funplex, so make sure you check that out. Listen to the show this week, and we'll have further opportunities for you to win. In fact, I would imagine we'll have 2 additional opportunities for you to win tomorrow during I Have an Opinion. Joey, you can confirm this?
Yes, I can confirm it. We got 2 more pairs left.
Is confirming it, which is great to hear. Excellent to hear. The College World Series is right around the corner, ladies and gentlemen, and people are good and fired up about what's going to happen here in Omaha. Some people are excited for rain. Some people are excited for extreme heat conditions. Some people are excited for Jell-O shots. Some people are excited for Pat McAfee
Stibbs
to come to town. Is Stibbs excited about Jell-O shots, or is he anti-excited?
Is he excited about McAfee?
I also don't think he's excited about McAfee.
What is Stibbs excited about?
Neither of those things. I think he likes. Well, I mean, obviously, he likes the Mariners.
Sure,
that's kind of what
sure
we're
does
looking.
Love them.
It's kind of what we're looking at this point. But yes, the College World Series is right around the corner. Is there the opening ceremonies, quote unquote, are tomorrow? But I don't even know what they do for that anymore. The only thing I use tomorrow for is for the press conferences and for the open practices, which will begin early in the morning.
Understandable. Yeah, no, it's different now with the games on Friday instead of your big Friday opening night thing that they used to do and all of that. So
this town.
I was thinking about that song the other day.
It's a great song.
It is a good song.
They need to bring it back.
Yeah, do they have what is their theme music for the ESPN?
Great.
Always has like
Great question.
One song that they play the heck out of every year, and it was Days of Gold one time.
Will it be by Fallout Boy?
They have been it before.
Yeah.
It was OAR with This Town. Like, well, what is it going to be this year?
I don't know.
How many times we'll hear the Brunts is back in town?
Maybe they'll go to Thin Lizzy. Maybe they'll just go to the Joey joint right off the.
Might as well.
Joint. What do they contact Jerry? Like, we'd like to use this.
I think they would have probably by now.
Well.
Probably would have by now.
As long as he's in the building.
Just remain open to it, Joey.
Yes, I am open.
Would
to
you like
all
the
these
closest equivalent for Nebraska power conference wise for basketball over the last 5 years, Nebraska football? And
I would.
Yeah.
So 41% Nebraska wins over the last 5 years.
So the teams in 41% range are not power conference teams.
Oh, perfect.
Now, Oregon State is at 40.9, but they're no longer in a power conference, so I don't know if we want to count that. The next closest at 42.9 is Boston College.
That's it. That's it.
That is not a compliment.
Have you ever heard of a Boston College basketball player not named Bowden Kapke?
Jared Dudley?
That's going back a ways now.
Yeah, no, you have to go to the Al Skinner Boston College team. Otherwise, no, I haven't.
Yeah.
I certainly couldn't name you a recent Boston College basketball player. And I was
besides
trying to
Bowden Kapke.
I was trying to think of somebody besides Jared Dudley. They had another big man, like they had like an Al Williams or somebody like that.
So they haven't been to the tournament since 2009. Wow, this is Nebraska. They haven't been to the tournament since 2009. And they haven't won 20 games for 3 years. They went 20-16 in 2023, 2024. 8-12 in the league though.
20-16 feels like a 7-6 football
20-16 without going to the NCAA tournament. Yeah, that's almost the
7-6.
exact equivalent of going 7-6.
Yeah.
Because 20 wins is an accomplishment.
Yeah, no,
20 wins is a great accomplishment.
You deserve
2/3 of your season with wins.
It's not bad. It's not bad. So yeah, I don't know if you would have.
So we're good. Boston College seems like an apt, fair comparison.
I think that's right. Oregon State is funny because they had that one really hilarious year where they went to the Elite Eight with Wayne Tinkle, and then they've been
2021.
They've been absolutely terrible in every other year.
Yeah, not good.
They're terrible.
Exactly.
Not good.
Thank you, Joey. Not so terrible Nebraska's recent recruiting class. A little more terrible, potentially, their previous recruiting classes before that. Schaefer, am I to understand that you were taking a look at some of these recruiting classes and saying if they were, and thinking to yourself, if these guys don't start hitting soon, then Nebraska's going to have some problems?
Well, it's not just like they're going to have some problems. I think you can sort of see why Nebraska has struggled a little under Matt Rule when you look at this recruiting cycle, and certainly the first couple years. And the only one I really looked at last night when I was thinking about this was 2023, which now my computer is pulling a Connor Happer computer. You go to 2023, they had 31 enrollees of high school guys.
That's a big class.
It's a transition class, so they had a lot of room to take a lot of people.
So this is Matt Rule's first class.
And almost no one has been a hit. And even less people stuck around.
Let's have some fun. Malachi Coleman.
Gone. He's on his third program.
Prince Will Uman Mielen.
Gone. He's on his third program, but very good.
Cam Lenhart.
Here. He's on his fourth season.
Jaden Doss.
Gone. He's somewhere else.
Riley Van Poppels.
Here. And people need more from him.
Jeremiah Charles.
Could be a starting cornerback.
Everyone always talks about Jeremiah Charles as if he's very good, and I've never seen him play at all.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone thinks that he's very good. He's always just been like that next guy in the cornerback.
They're going to need maybe Jeremiah Charles is coming on. All right, sure. Maverick Noonan.
Gone.
Bryce the Burner Turner.
Gone.
Demetrius Bell.
Here. But did you know that?
Yes. I would have gotten all of them right. All of their current destinations correct so far.
Okay.
Ethan Nation.
Gone.
I remember Ethan Nation.
Yeah. No, there was some enthusiasm for Ethan Nation.
Was he only here for like a day?
He was here for one semester.
Maybe a spring.
And then he was gone.
Where do we think Ethan Nation is currently?
Great question. I will look it up. I do not know.
Okay.
I don't recall him having like a landing spot right out of. He's at Valdosta State with the Blazers, so he went to D2.
Awesome. Ramir
FCS. That might be FCS.
Ramir Stewart.
So I don't know. Is he still on the roster?
I don't think so.
I don't either, but I don't remember him going into the portal. But I don't also think he's on the 2026 roster. So we're checking. You maybe had a different number.
Okay. Do the finder and do Stewart.
Well, that would have been easier, wouldn't it?
Control F, dude.
No, Stewart. He's not here.
Okay. So he's gone. Ismail Smith Flores.
Gone.
Gunnar Gatula.
Here.
Brock Knudsen.
Here.
Some of these people we've not seen much of. Vincent Carroll Jackson.
Gone.
Jalen Lloyd.
Gone.
Dwight Boodle.
Gone.
Sam Sledge.
Here.
Dylan Rogers.
Here.
Mason Goldman.
Here.
Eric Fields.
Gone.
Oh, man.
People were very excited for Eric Fields.
The Eric Fields spring was a great time. Quentin Ives.
Still here.
DeAndre Barnes.
Gone.
Sincere Safayula.
Safua. Gone.
Safiula. Yeah, I remember that. Gone. Sua Lafotu.
Here.
Kai Wallen.
Gone.
Jason McShakeshack.
Machachak.
Yeah, I always call him McShakeshack. Tristan Alvano.
Gone.
Noah. Well, these guys don't.
Yeah. Kenneth Williams is on there. Gone.
Yeah. Yeah, those the rest of those guys don't count. Even their transfer portal class was relatively rough.
Yeah, I mean, MJ Sherman was a hit for him. Ben Scott was a hit for him.
Okay, so there's like one or two current starters in that group,
and none of them are slam dunk starters.
Lenhart,
Van Poppel, Gatula. Those are your three guys that have like really started out of that grouping.
There was some Dylan Rogers buzz at some point.
Yeah, he's not starting.
There was some buzz.
Sure.
There was some buzz. It was probably a step lower. And then the rest of them are
your guy
either
Jeremiah Charles. There's some buzz.
The rest of them, you're either like waiting on, like, where are these guys? But like, it's kind of time to stop waiting because it's 2026, and it's like, if you don't know by now, you probably know.
I mean, I'd have to go back through it really, but anecdotally, this is one of the worst hit rates on a class ever.
Yeah,
you may not have a
this is
multi-year starter out of this group if Van Poppel or Lenhart don't have.
What was the famous Frost one, or the famous Riley one? Well, that ended up, I guess, being Frost
they
class.
Kind of all have the same.
The Tyjon Lindsey, the 17 class.
Yep.
Because a few of those guys ended up here, but then immediately left, obviously, because
you want to take a look at the 2017.
So 17 is Tyjon Lindsey, DeAndre Thomas, Avery Roberts, Javon McQuitty, Tristan Gebbia, Chris Walker, Keyshawn Johnson, Willie Hampton, Guy Thomas, Brendan Hymas, Andrew Ward, Kurt Raffdahl. Yeah, there's some guys. There's some guys on here. There's probably like one.
Well, so Brendan Hymas was a 3-year starter that went to the NFL, so he's already better than what.
And the rest of them almost universally left.
And DeAndre Thomas was a multi-year starter. Otherwise, not a lot out of that class.
Austin Allen was in that class.
So Austin Allen, Damian Daniels.
So
they got more out of that class than what they're likely to get out of 23.
It had 4 players. Yeah. And 4 players that were ever even good.
Yeah. Well, that's more than the current group.
That's crazy. So to answer your question, I have not thought about this.
Well, and I think it does a good job of telling you of all of the things that have gone wrong. Like, you made these bets on being a development program. These guys aren't developing or haven't developed yet. So if we did this into the 2024, which is something I was thinking about doing with Severe on Friday to kind of space this out a little bit, just so people don't feel completely and utterly bombarded by how bad
here are players
the recruiting has been. It doesn't get a whole lot better. Like, they took big classes in 23 and 24, big swings. A lot of people have left. The ones that have stayed have not exactly developed or have claimed starting jobs, which is a huge problem.
Okay, so this is, people look at recruiting and they'll say, well, it's either one or two things. It's either one of two things. It's either identification of the actual player, or the development of the actual player. And what do we talk about? I don't know. I talk about it every single day. Their lack of ability to pick a lane and do what they want. Therefore, that is affecting their ability to develop players. It's probably they're affecting their ability to identify players as well, because they don't know what they're looking for. Yeah. Like, there are certain guys, I always say this every year around signing day, there are certain guys that sign to places like, oh, well, that guy's going to be a pain in my ass for 4 years because he went to X school. You know, he's a this size linebacker who's from this place, and he ends up at Iowa. Great. He's going to be incredible and a 2-time All-American. Congratulations.
Right.
Doesn't even matter what he's rated. Nebraska doesn't have any of that. Nebraska doesn't have a single position where they could even remotely claim that.
I mean, the problem is twofold. They bet hard on their ability to develop, and then they didn't really ever have a plan for who or what they were developing towards, because they shifted what the team was going to look like. You went really hard with Evan Cooper's evaluations, and a lot of them have just been misses, just straight up misses. And I continue to go back to this. I think Rule came back to Nebraska with more of a it's 2019 mindset than it's 2023, where he wanted to be the Baylor where you develop these guys, and your 3rd and 4th year, you hit and you identified and they developed and they were really good for the system that you were running.
Yeah.
That didn't happen at all.
This clearly would have worked out a lot better if it was that. I mean, because then they would have been able to keep. I mean, that first group that left in that first, because remember how young they were on defense in that first year, and they ended up being pretty good. They played like 400 guys on the defensive side, and then anyone with promise left. Like, basically anyone with promise left after that first year. And
or second.
That was a big red flag for me of like, whoa, what? Not in that it was a thing that Rule could have done anything about, but just, they're not going to be able to keep guys if there's any sort of hint of them being good. and certainly if there's a whole crop of them.
Well, the thing that's frustrating is you were losing guys that like Mekhi Bear was a good player, and he gets an opportunity in the portal to go make more money than he would get at Nebraska, and then he just doesn't really like it didn't go for because being a good player that's in kind of a secondary role, he wasn't ready to then go be the starter somewhere else.
There's some of that too.
And so that's tough. Every team deals with that. But again, just a complete and utter, it's a transition class. So you have to always take that with a grain of salt. They didn't get the full time. You're grabbing guys at sort of.
But like you said, the current update on 24 is that it doesn't look a whole lot better.
No. And it doesn't feel like even the ones that you were hoping to get something out of, like there's a lot of in-state linemen there that they just went past recruiting wise. Keep Wade got here and he's like, no. And that's
a lot of ways
you invested 4 or 5 years in those guys and they're never going to start for you. That's a really tough thing in a churn and burn environment like college football is in right now.
Yeah, and it's tough because you can't have, especially now, it's tough to have that dead weight on your roster too. All right, we'll take a break. Lauren Michelson will join us next. We'll talk about some of this stuff and look ahead to the baseball coming up this week on Happer and Schaefer on 1620 The Zone.
Lauren Michelson.
I'm hoping you guys can wake me up a little bit this morning.
Lauren Michelson.
I will not feel bad for any of you in Omaha.
Lauren Michelson.
So whenever, hits the fan.
Lauren Michelson. KETV Channel 7.
No other thing I'd rather be doing at 9:15, 9:20 in the morning than talking to you two.
Lauren Michelson on Happer and Schaefer, 1620 The Zone.
I am ready to get the heck out of here.
And we're joined now on the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline by our good friend Lauren Michelson from KTV. Lauren, good morning. How are you?
Oh, good morning, you guys. I'm doing well. How are you two?
Very good. Getting ready to go. All ready to roll for the College World Series.
Oh, hey, do you guys remember a time? Let me ask you this. It is so hot, like always, heading into the CWS, but the humidity going on right now is a little bit worrying me because I don't remember it being this humid heading into opening weekend. It's going to be disgusting outside.
Yesterday and Monday were so ridiculous. It's usually not before, but I don't know. We're well within the red zone, I suppose, of literally any weather, I think it seems. I'm just hoping one of these years, Lauren, we could get it's like 70, it's 76 or something like that.
We're going to have a couple days in the 70s, though. That might help us out a little bit.
Yeah, next week. That's going to feel good, but that's okay. It's just a sign it's here.
So what all do you have put together? Does KTV, Andy, and the crew have put together for the series?
Yeah, well, for the first time, we're doing things a little bit differently this year. We do not have a pre-tournament, basically, preview show that would usually air Thursday night after the practice rounds, which is fine because usually it's us scrambling to get all the interviews and video we just shot from the practice day into the show. So we don't have to worry about that. We will still have full coverage Thursday night from practice day, kind of setting the stage. But we actually have a live championship special on KTV on Saturday, leading into the games on the championship series next weekend. So that's different, and we'll see how it goes. We can't really do anything until we know who will be playing in the championship, but we have a couple stories airing in it. I did a feature on Jack Caglione, even though Florida's nowhere near being in this field, but just kind of talking about some stars that came through Omaha and stuff like that. So it should be some good content. And other than that, we'll just be down at Baseball Village and at Charles Schwab every single day, just living the dream out there.
You've looked over the field, you know who's in it of the 8 teams. Do you have are there stories already forming for you? Is there someone that you hope makes a run because you want to be able to tell that story a little bit more as you kind of assess what we have here?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, we go through every team and just kind of, like many people, just make all the notes on everyone. I don't know. I don't want to say disappointed, but a little disappointed in the field just with the amount of SEC teams in it this year.
The fair reaction.
So close. Yeah, that's what everyone's saying, right? But it's fine. I think, naturally I'm excited about North Carolina and Troy and West Virginia. Alabama does have a Grand Island pitcher. I believe his name's Tyler Fay, maybe. Yep. Yeah. So, and he's a mainstay in the rotation, and he's really talented. Sometimes you see Omaha, Nebraska kids come through here, and they may not play that much, but I actually am really excited to catch up with him on Thursday. And he, like all these players, grew up idolizing this, and he actually is a Nebraska kid from Grand Island. So that's going to be a cool story on Alabama's roster. But other than that, I'm just hoping for some good games, and that we're going to have an SEC team in the finals. That's fine, but let's see if one of these other teams can make a run as well.
Okay, philosophical question. How do you enjoy your baseball? Are you more pitching inclined or are you more hitting inclined? Offense or pitching?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think during the regular season, maybe offense, but we've seen some masterful pitching performances in Omaha just because the long ball obviously is not favored at Charles Schwab. So I think at the CWS, I get more into just the pitching and the defensive side of it, because I think that's what really sets some of these teams apart. However, you get Ole Miss in here and some of these high-powered offenses, you can't help but hope they can compete and have that long ball here in Omaha as well. But it's kind of a, you don't really know how their ball is going to play at that field. So, but yeah, I think pitching last year with the no and everything else, I think that's the stuff you like to see.
Lauren, do you have a favorite part of the College World Series, or something that occurs like every year? Maybe it's not like a tradition, but just it's always going to be there. Yeah, I love, for me personally, and especially having started doing some OBV shows before now, really getting to do some OBV shows.
Very much so.
I love the first day and second day, like the elimination games and that tension that's there, and there's just like a little bit of an atmosphere environment that's pretty fantastic. And then, of course, when you get to the finals, that has a different feel to it as well. But is there anything that like really stands out or that you really look forward to every year as it relates to the CWS?
Yeah, like a couple things. There's nothing like opening weekend because everyone's really juiced to be there, even people from around Omaha, and it's just special. I really enjoy, from a media perspective, practice day because everyone's loose and it's their first time usually stepping foot on the field if it's for some of your newer teams, and everyone's just excited to be there, and you do get to really have a word with like every team, and I love Arrival Day today actually too. I'm not working today just because our schedules are all over the place the next 2 weeks, but it is cool like when Troy will step off their bus at Charles Schwab, and they usually will walk into Charles Schwab Field, take a lap. For your first time teams, watching that happen is pretty magical. That with Murray State last year was really cool. So yeah, that's cool. Father's Day on Sunday next weekend. Yep. I mean, like that's just special. It's just cool seeing, and it's not just like the dads and their sons. Like it's always a family affair, and everyone's so happy. And so it's just really a special 2 weeks. And I tell people all the time, like if you've never experienced it, you need to just come once and come one of the weekends. And there's just nothing like it. And Omaha just does it so well. And I think it should never leave Omaha, and I hope it never does.
Yeah, do the whole thing. Do all the things that like people, if you're coming here for the fourth time, would tell you actually don't do that again. Like go to the zoo once and do the Jello shots and then come back a second time, and then we'll do the real thing after that. So speaking of the fans, Lauren, are you buying into this West Virginia hype and that they're gonna bring the entire state and take over? We're just basically going to be Morgantown West for the next couple weeks, or who do you favor in the fan battle this week?
Well, as soon as Pat McAfee announced he'd be doing a live show on Friday, I think it's all over for every other fan base. I think it's going to be madness here, which is great. Every year there's one fan base that really takes over. Usually it's LSU. They're not in the field. Who is it going to be? I think West Virginia. I think that's great. And the scene of them singing after they won their super, and it was so special. So I think it's going to be pretty awesome to have that fan base here.
Lauren, let's say that you're walking through the tailgate lots and a West Virginia tailgate calls you over and they offer you a pepperoni roll, a delicacy from West Virginia.
That's right.
Would you eat it?
Wait, a pepperoni roll? Like, is it like pizza rolled in the dough? What is
I think you got the right idea.
We don't know exactly. We're hoping to experience, but we have learned this is a big thing in Morgantown and West Virginia.
I'm thinking along the lines of like a stromboli,
but just cut down to size, like
right.
A biscuit,
handheld.
Oh, yeah, I tried. That is not. I wouldn't say that's my ideal tailgating food in 100-degree weather with humidity, but if they have those out, absolutely I would try that. We've seen some crazy things. You've seen like LSU fans like burning gators in the parking lot. Yeah. You've seen like really wild things. So if they're bringing pepperoni rolls, that's pretty mild compared to what we're used to seeing around Omaha.
That's why we like when the new teams show up. Yeah. We like the different flavor,
new
and
customs.
Omaha
new
gets to experience a little bit
culturally
of
appropriate where necessary.
The new tradition, yes.
We'll take it wherever we can get it. Okay, Lauren. Well, we'll let you go. It's going to be a long 10 days. You're out there working as hard as anybody, so appreciate that and bringing the coverage to all of us locals here in Omaha. Enjoy those new visitors, the tourists this weekend, checking out KETV. And we'll catch up with you on Friday at the park.
Thank you, guys. See you Friday.
Lauren Michelson from KETV. Check out KETV. If you're just landing at our beautiful Omaha airport, please excuse our exposed wires. Those will be fixed next year, I promise. And
don't mind the construction out in Omaha.
Thank you for listening to 1620 The Zone, finding 1620 The Zone, your home of the College World Series. And you can find Lauren on KETV. Channel, well, depends on what hotel you're staying in, I guess. Although, do people do channels anymore? I don't
think they do.
You just bring your YouTube TV with you, and you'll get the local one, and it'll say KETV.
Yep. You don't have to worry about it.
Any other?
I think it used to be Channel 7 when I had to worry about channels.
Yeah. Well, it is the number 7. Like it says Channel 7. But I always felt like ABC was 9. Was ABC 9?
Could be. I don't know.
Joey,
I'm new to the area.
Do you remember?
It's 9 on
Nine.
Cox Cable.
That's right.
It's Cox Cable. It's Channel 9.
Yeah, and then Fox is 10, and NBC
I was using Cox Cable.
NBC is
8. That's right. Yeah,
then
and
CBS is 5.
I asked somebody for what the channel number was for probably the first time in a year.
Oh man, what a memory!
Weird. It was odd. I was like, "Where's ESPN 2?"
30,
31 or 30, whichever it was.
31 is ESPN.
Yeah, so maybe I was asking for ESPN, but
30 is ESPN
is
too.
wild.
It's kind of weird, but nobody cares about that stuff anymore.
Nope.
Is there any other advice you would give to first time Omahans who are just jumping off the jet right now and listening to Happer?
I mean, definitely hydrate. Like, it's the heat. You might think you're prepared for the heat. Like, you won't be. There's a lot of people that I think get here and are basically like, oh, it'll be fine. I'm going to a baseball game.
Yeah, I'm from the South. I know about heat.
Yeah. No, it's different.
I mean, it's the same, but it's hot.
Yeah, it's depending on where in the South, you may not have as much humidity. You might have more. You might get here and be like, well, this is a paradise.
I know.
I don't think a lot of them will have that opportunity, but
probably not. Enjoy our local golf courses.
There's good golf here. Get out and play. Go to Benson, play the municipal courses here. Find your way onto the better courses, or better, but nicer. I don't know, whatever you want to call them. Get invited by some members somehow. I don't know.
Oh,
there's plenty of good golf.
Pretty much soon you'll get to enjoy the nice streetcar that's coming to town.
That's
no
right.
Streetcar this year.
Give it another couple years. Once our exposed wires get fixed, then we will have a streetcar.
You'll get to see the new skyscraper in downtown Omaha. They just finished putting up the sign on there.
That's right. The Mutual of Omaha Tower. By the way, I forgot to tell you
Get
guys
a lemonade. That's the other advice.
Oh, from the lemonade guy. Yeah, the lemonade guy.
Those are tremendous. Yeah. I'm looking forward to having.
Don't drink it too fast, though.
Do not drink it too fast.
Because you might,
burst.
Don't drink it too fast.
You will burst.
So when I was in Kansas City this past weekend, they have a streetcar, right? And
did you like the streetcar?
Okay, I have used it before to get from Power and Light to Crossroads.
Sure.
Right? So I was staying in Crossroads again. And a buddy of mine said that he tried to take the streetcar to get either to downtown or from downtown or whatever it was. And he said he went up to the streetcar and it did not move for several minutes. And then he found out that the streetcar was just it stopped. It was done for the night. It decided that it had retired. And that was it. So the streetcar was no bueno.
Streetcars can just pull PTO.
Streetcar was just sick of it. Done.
Whoa.
Done for the day.
I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, I guess so.
Huh.
It doesn't go all hours of the day, so I don't know what time. Like I thought this was in the middle of the day that this happened. Anyway, just thought I'd tell another great streetcar story from the streetcar that our streetcar is modeled after. Kansas City.
It's gonna be here before
time.
I don't know. Yeah, just
it'll be
done.
here before you know it.
It will. Can't wait. I'm sure there's many businesses that can't wait to.
Pretty much soon you could take a streetcar from Omaha to Lincoln, go to a Nebraska football game.
You will definitely not be able to do that.
A commuter train would be amazing. A high-speed commuter train would be fantastic.
You'll be able to take a streetcar from Omaha to Omaha and no other place. That's it. You actually won't even be able to go that far. You can cover about 22% of Omaha.
It would be hilarious.
Really? That's actually higher than I thought it was.
That's just a guess, depending on where you end Omaha. It's a light estimation.
Where does the Omaha
Where
end?
does Omaha end?
That's a question that happens sometimes.
That's a question for Josh Peterson to answer.
We will take a break. Come back and round things out after this on 1620 The Zone. All right. Welcome back. More of Happer and Schaefer here on 1620 The Zone, 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Mike Schaefer with you. Don't forget today, Matt and Josh, will be out at Warner Park for some baseball coming up here in just.
Hooray! Hooray!
See, I would have believed you if you said,
I can't believe it.
Now almost everything you say sounds kind of sarcastic.
I suppose.
All right, so we gotta sim this bracket one more time.
Good luck with that, Dan.
People are they going to be excited when bracket sim of the day finally dies?
Not when we bust out the 12-team college football playoff bracket every day of the rest of the summer.
Well, but our other idea was really good. The idea where
the box score one?
The box score one.
Yeah, I like that one.
We just have to come up with one every day, which
I think we just use that day, find a historic box score, and then go through it.
I think we open it up and we just say something topical,
sure,
that connects to whatever. So you could pick a historical game or something historical that happened. You know, somebody got there.
Do you want to swap on and off? We each you pick it one day, I pick it the next day.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's good.
Joey picks it never.
Okay.
I'll pick a random one
if you want to. You certainly
can.
I
mean, it's not that I don't want to give them that opportunity. I just assume that there's no box score of which you would ever care about.
Yeah. So then come with the backstory, and then we'll do the box score. But
we'll start this Monday.
We'll probably start it next Friday.
Oh, it'd be okay. Yeah,
we'll probably start it next Friday.
Okay.
Whenever the sports schedule allows.
The sports schedule will allow, God willing, next Friday.
Good luck with that, Connor.
It will allow.
Good luck with that, dude.
This is my 5th College World Series, and I've never worked on the Friday. Well, I've never done a College World Series on the Friday. We haven't got to the Friday.
Okay.
The extra day. Because Friday, last year we were doing the car wash.
We get to Friday this time. Bishop has promised that I'm sitting in with him to be the color analyst for it.
Oh, that's right.
Hooray!
No, that's right.
That's what we have to look forward to.
This is exciting.
Should a thing that's never happened happen?
All right. Well, it's happened before, just not
thing that hasn't happened recently.
Yeah. We are simming this bracket, and the bracket that I have simmed, some people might enjoy this. West Virginia wins the Connor World Series by beating Georgia in the finals.
That would be fun.
I think it would be too.
I would take a West Virginia-Georgia final. I don't care who wins. Fun. Just give me the final.
It's becoming pretty clear that West Virginia is the team of Omaha, I think, this year. That's the way it feels to me. I guess we'll see what it feels like tomorrow.
There'll be some
Friday.
Troy support, I'm sure.
There will be some Troy support. For whatever reason, Troy, they don't hold the mantle of the true underdog. They're not Murray State. They're not partly because they're better than Murray State.
Yeah,
they're more talented. They're in the I don't know.
If Troy and Nebraska played a 3-game set,
Troy might win.
I wouldn't be surprised if Troy won that. And that's not to be dismissive of Nebraska. It's just to say, as a 3 seed, they might have been a little bit underrated or, properly rated, but they're still good.
Yeah.
That's a tough 3 to have.
Agreed. So it's not an underdog story. I wonder how Little Rock would have been received
4
here.
seed makes it seem bigger.
Yeah.
Sure.
People would have enjoyed themselves some Little Rock. But yeah, it looks like a lot of the stuff has gone over to West Virginia. What did you get in your sim?
I had North Carolina and Texas, with North Carolina winning.
Okay, a North Carolina Texas final is objectively fun.
Yeah,
I mean, I know people don't like Texas or whatever, but those are 2 really good teams.
If the 3 teams that aren't Ole Miss, and again, it's nothing to do with Ole Miss. I don't want an all SEC final.
Got it.
Any of those 3 versus any of the 4, I guess Oklahoma the least that I would like out of that grouping for some reason. I can't explain why. I'm probably going to be fine with the final. But if we get Ole Miss versus,
even Alabama,
yeah, I'd be fine with Alabama versus North Carolina, Alabama versus Troy, Alabama versus West Virginia. Fine with all of that.
But not Mississippi.
Not Mississippi.
No hotty toddy.
Those are teams 7 and 8 for me.
Wow.
Don't want them in.
Okay, that's a good game for tomorrow. Schaefer's teams that he wants to see win the College World Series.
I think 1 is obvious. 2 is probably obvious. 3 might be obvious.
And then we know 8.
Obvious. And you know 8.
For whatever reason, you just really don't want Ole Miss.
I just don't want an all-SEC final. It's not even Ole Miss.
I get it.
They were hurt by the fact that nobody on the other side that wasn't an SEC team won.
Well, if you were wanting an upset in the CWS, you're in luck. I got Troy over Georgia.
Troy wins the Connor World Series.
The last time Georgia played for a title, they lost to Fresno State.
People forget.
That team didn't have either Steven Strasburg or Aaron Judge.
Steven Strasburg went to
or was he San Diego State? Who's
yeah.
a really good there's a Tanner something. They had one really good pitcher, but he wasn't available.
They had a good guy on that team, but no, Judge was
thinking of?
Judge
it wasn't
was later.
Strasburg, but they had a pitcher for Fresno State that I don't think played that year, but then was really good. Yeah, because Strasburg was San Diego State.
Let's see if we could find a Fresno State alum, Fresno State baseball alum. Dylan Lee, Matt. No, those guys are true. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure who you're thinking of in that.
I'll figure it out
in that specific way. Anyway, that'll do it for us today. Baseball is coming up from Warner Park today, and our friends Josh and Matt are standing by and patiently waiting. They were ready hours ago. They've just been waiting for us to stop this show so they can start theirs. So that is coming up with the crossover. If you miss anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. Crossover is coming up next.